This is Atomic Shinobi, and today I'm going to narrate second and final part of What If Naruto Was a Heartless Angel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Naruto got up early the following day and trained with Masamune and first Tsurugi at the dojo. He inquired, Ayane-chan, about Sasuke's seal. Can that ever is broken? Ayane responded, there are two ways to do so, but all of them are impossible to happen. The first way is that he has to have a strong desire and sheer willpower to do this. But I doubt that sheer willpower part since he tends to give up when someone is stronger than him. The second way is someone like Cloud and Sephiroth can break the spell as well, which is highly unlikely as well. According to Naruto, then he is still the same as ever. Cloud grumbled, something tells me that seal will break, I don't know what, but something bad is going to happen. Then we must be ready to face it head on, stated Sephiroth. Naruto exposed his chest to the world by taking off his jacket and removing the pack that contained first Tsurugi. Taking up Masamune and first Tsurugi, Naruto said, I will need to practice dual wielding. It was a bit hard when I had to wield them both at the same time. After 3 hours of practicing his taijutsu and kenjutsu, the Jinchuriki finished by meditating. The swordsman with Mako enriched asked, you need something, Sakura? Sakura responded, that mark on Sasuke's neck. Did that Orochimaru guy did something to him? Naruto responded, I am going to mince words with you, Sakura. That viper manages to place that mark on Sasuke's neck, but it won't bother him at all. I managed to do a seal on it and it is very hard to break, he will be fine. Silently, Sakura said, I see, thanks for telling me. According to the Jinchuriki, you're welcome, Sakura. Sakura responded, oh, more teams came in. That team from Suna and Hinata's team. But it's strange. About what? Asked Naruto. Sakura responded, that Gaara character. He had no sign of a scratch on him. No scratch? Not a person with a cage status could do that. He or she would have at least one. Naruto's eyes widened slightly. Just who is Sabaku no Gaara? He asked himself. The Jinchuriki inquired, thanks for the information, how is Sasuke? Naruto flipped off the balance point, which was first Tsurugi's hilt, and took the Buster sword to put it in his holster. Sakura brightened a little and said, he has a slight fever and his breathing is a bit erratic. Other than that, he will make a full recovery. I will be back, I am going to check out the competition. Unnamed World. Midgar. A team of laborers was working diligently to construct a portal machine. Ever since Cloud and the reincarnated Sephiroth fought each other, the remaining members of Shinra were somewhat impacted, as were Cloud's friends, who were all members of a group known as Avalanche. Though he didn't express it publicly, Vincent Valentine was on the verge of thinking Cloud had passed away. Yazoo and Lowe's, Kadaja's brother, were killed in the conflict. While Yazoo was killed by Tifa, Yuffie, and Sid, Lowe's was killed by the Turks working together with Vincent and Barrett. His real name was Red 13, Ernanaki, and Sid Highwind, Seng, Elena, Rude, Reno, Rufus Shinra, and Barrett Wallace all thought Cloud was dead. The only people who obstinately thought Cloud was still alive were Cloud's childhood friend Tifa Lockhart, the hypermaterialistic hunter, ninja Yuffie Kasaragi, and Barrett's daughter Marlene. While it has been 5 years in Midgar, it has only been a few months in Naruto's world. Rufus said, Tifa, are you sure you want to go through with this? If I wasn't sure, then I wouldn't dare to ask for your help, the black-haired martial artist said, turning to face Rufus. Tifa convinced Rufus to assist her in creating a machine that allowed access to other worlds, but it took some convincing. Given that they had been enemies 7 years prior, Barrett felt a little uneasy, but he swallowed his pride for Tifa's sake and the chance that Cloud was still alive. Yuffie used her abilities to gather materials, primarily thunder, for summoning and energy. Given that a normal summon has a different world, perhaps a machine could create a portal by using the same sequence. Reno said, you got it, boss. The redhead turned on the machine, and the device came to life. Rufus said, okay, start the process. We will first transfer her to her shop. Just because it worked with a stuffed animal doesn't mean it will work for a human. An energy beam passed through the portal as the material came to life. Alright, Tifa, the portal will be ready in a few moments, now all we have to do is lock on to the last known energy signature from Cloud or Sephiroth. It will be easier to track Cloud's own, Rufus replied. I will be back soon, everyone. Tifa nodded and grabbed the gadget she had fastened to her wrist, which enabled her to teleport back to Midgar. She thought, Cloud, I hope that you are okay. The area briefly flashed before shutting down as she dashed through the portal. Rufus replied, and now we wait and hope that Tifa is safe and Cloud is alright. I don't think that she would be able to bear the thought that Cloud was dead, since she has been saying that for 5 years, as well as your daughter. Barrett replied, for once, I agree with you, Shinra. Whatever happens, we must make sure that we get through this thing together. Unnamed World. Forest of Death, Tower. As Naruto stepped outside the dojo, he noticed that the teams that had entered the tower were dispersed. He looked around for Team Suna and Team 8. Gaara moved in Naruto's direction after catching his gaze. Gaara said in a monotone, Uzumaki. Coolly, Naruto said, hello, Gaara-san. The blonde replied, I hope that you are ready to prove my existence. Your blood will satisfy my mother along with Sasuke Uchiha's. The Jinchuriki responded, you can try, Gaara-san. But killing me or Sasuke will not prove your existence, because I doubt you can defeat us without opposition. Gaara simply turned away after staring at him and said, you will die, Uzumaki. Smiling, Naruto said, come and try. After Gaara leaves, Naruto pauses to say, it was nice seeing you again, Temari-chan. He thought Temari's smile was almost melancholy. The desert princess thought, he is cute, but Gaara will kill him anyway. Maybe I can convince him to spare him to keep him. It struck Kankuro, he is so dead. To Team 8, Naruto approaches them and says, hello, Shino-san, Kiba-san, Hinata-chan. I see that you guys survived the ordeal. Dude, what the hell are you doing? Kiba asked. Says Naruto, what do you mean? Naruto-kun, that Gaara character. He is very dangerous, Hinata retorted. Shino responded, she is right, we saw him killing a team of rain ninja using sand that came from his gourd. Kiba responded, Akamaru told me that the sand reeked of blood. That Gaara kid is very dangerous. Naruto replied, that might be true, Kiba. But nonetheless, sooner or later I will have to fight him, and to be honest, I am kind of intrigued by Gaara. You are one crazy person, Naruto, Kiba remarked. Naruto replied, not crazy, I am just legally insane, Kiba. I am confident that I can beat Gaara. Just be careful, Naruto-kun, Hinata said. As stated by the Jinchuriki, I am always careful, Hinata-chan. Good luck in the exams. After another day, Team Dosu and Team Kabuto made an appearance. After giving Naruto a fierce look, Dosu, Kin, and Zaku withdrew into a secluded chamber. Naruto returned their gaze, but he was struck by Kin's hesitant expression, which made him question why the Auto team had killed Sasuke. He was aware of their connection to Orochimaru, which meant that if Sasuke activated the cursed mark on his neck, Orochimaru would have wanted them killed. Additionally, Kabuto gave him the impression that he was weak, but Naruto understood that appearances should not be used to judge people, so Kabuto must be hiding something. When the third day finally arrived, Team Guy showed up. Lee, Tenten, and Neji entered the room as this was happening, and Naruto was with Team 8. When Tenten saw Naruto, he yelled, hey, Naruto. The Jinchuriki turned to see her and her male teammates coming toward them. Ohio, Tenten-san, I see that you have made it as well. Tenten was beaming. Of course, we trained for this constantly. Plus everyone on our team has someone that they want to fight against. Lee responded, Tenten is right about that. I wish to fight against the youthful Sasuke and you, Naruto-san. According to Tenten, as do I. Is there something wrong, Neji? Naruto asked, glancing out of the corner of his eye to see Neji glaring at Hinata. Neji responded, no, Uzumaki, I am just surprised that Lady Hinata has made it this far in the exams. At most times, she would just quit. As Hinata turned away from her cousin, Naruto remarked, the Hinata I know would not quit now when she is so far. She still has to show me how powerful that she has gotten. Neji responded, people can't change, Uzumaki-san. Fate has determined everything from birth. Everyone has a title from elite to loser. Naruto replied, excuse me, Neji-san, but I am allergic to bullshit on that one. There is no such thing as fate or predetermined destiny, only idiots believe in that. Neji responded, there is no proven fact that fate doesn't exist. Replied, actually there is. Me. I was labeled the dead last in the academy, but yet I am known as the Heartless Angel. Now from your words, you believe that fate determined me to be a loser from birth, yet I am strong. Can you explain that now? As Naruto grinned at winning the wit battle, Neji's jaw tightened. Now I think people could change. How I know this? I changed Zabuza Momochi. Zabuza was a warrior, he has an apprentice that he consider as a tool. I fought him once and defeated him. He lost and I was about to kill him along with his apprentice. But I found out that she was just like me. I spared them and gave Zabuza a choice to take his life and leave his client or face me in combat once again. Normally he would run like he did when his assassination attempt on the Mizukage failed, but he told me that something compelled him to fight to the death against me. I don't like to take lives needlessly unless the opportunity takes a turn for the worse, but Zabuza gave me no choice. He told me before I kill him that he believed that falling against me would start a new legend and it would be an honor to fall against me. Naruto stated, and here we are. Now fate and destiny are things that are non-existent unless someone believes it to be real. There is only one thing that I agree about fate. We are all connected to one fate and that is death, but deciding things on appearance, terms of strength and etc. Fate doesn't control things there, we do. Through determination people can break through the stereotypes, Neji.san. Neji responded, you are a fool to believe that fate is non-existent, Uzumaki.san. The Jinchuriki responded, fine, then we will settle this in a fight. Your belief in fate and predetermined destiny against my belief in the guts to never give up and that people can change despite their supposed predetermined destiny. Neji responded, fine, but be prepared to lose. Tenten, Lee, let's go. Tenten grinned at them, mostly Naruto, and said, it was nice seeing you guys again. Good luck in the exams. Lee bowed to them before following Neji as she left. Kiba said, Naruto, you picked a bad opponent to mess with, as soon as they left. Then Naruto said, why? That's Neji Hyuga, Hinata's cousin, Shino said. He won Rookie of the Year the previous year and is the strongest practitioner of the Juken style of Hyuga Taijutsu. You know that titles don't mean anything to me, Naruto retorted. Kiba responded, you seem to throw that Heartless Angel title around everywhere you go, Naruto. People tend to ask. I just confirm it, said the Jinchuriki. Neji needed to realize that even someone who initially appears to be a loser can develop into a great ninja, which is why I threw that title at him. I recall that Hokage. Gigi.san told me about his former team, the Densatsu no Sanin, which consisted of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru. Jiraiya, like me, was the last player, Tsunade was the best kunoichi, and Orochimaru was the Rookie of the Year. In actuality, Sasuke, Sakura, and I now sound like my team. The three grew stronger and closer as a team over time. They soon parted ways. One became an S-rank missing nin due to his obsession with jutsu, another left the village due to the unpleasant memories she had of it, and the final one, who is regarded as loyal, is currently traveling around using his skills to infiltrate and obtain information in order to assist Konoha. Who am I now among the three? As Hinata put it, I think you are like Jiraiya, Sama. That's right, Hinata. Chan, Naruto said. Orochimaru sounds more or less like Sasuke, and Tsunade. Sama, when she was a genin, sounds like Sakura. Tsunade and Sakura were enamored with the Rookie of the Year, and they both had an obsession with power. According to Shino, eventually what you are telling us is that a person can become a great ninja despite his stats as a student or child. Right, anybody can. Said Naruto. His teammate interrupted him by yelling, Naruto, it's Sasuke, he is awake now. Naruto nodded to teammate and hurried over to Sakura, saying, he is awake now, Sakura. Pardon me, I have to tend to my teammate. Yeah, said Sakura. According to Naruto, well, let's see him then. Sasuke was awake and wearing his typical attire when Sakura escorted Naruto to the infirmary. Sasuke-kun, are you certain that you should be standing? The girl with the pink hair asked. At that moment, Sasuke thought, but when did that guy do to me? He replied, I am fine, Sakura. Why is my neck marked like this? Anyway, what happened when I was out? Inquired Sasuke. Sakura responded, after you were knocked out, Naruto carried you here after he repels that Orochimaru guy, you were unconscious for 4 days. Sasuke replied, since we are in a belighting, I take it that we passed. You did want to fight against Lee and Gaara, of course, Naruto said. Smirking, Sasuke said, and you as well, Naruto. After a moment of widening, Naruto remarked, I see, I look forward to it then. The Jinchuriki replied, understood. Then an Anbu showed up and said, Naruto Uzumaki, the Hokage wished to see you. He then covered himself and released his black wing to vanish in a specialized shunshin. Hokage's office, Naruto and Enko Midarashi and Kakashi Hitaki appeared before the Hokage. Oji.san, did you need me? Sarutobi responded, yes, I need you to tell me about your team's encounter with Orochimaru and the strange markings around Sasuke's curse mark. Sasuke and I fought against Orochimaru, Naruto stated. I had threatened to kill Sasuke if he attempted to remove him because I knew about his obsession with the Sharingan. I was putting Orochimaru on the ropes after he attacked us, but he replaced himself with a Doden Bunshin, which allowed him to grab Sasuke and give him the cursed seal that was on Anko's neck. Taking hold of her neck, Anko asked, "How did you find out?" "When you came behind me to intimidate the genin, I looked at it," Naruto remarked. "I initially believed it to be a tattoo, but after Sasuke received the mark, I understood it was related to you and the primary cause of your animosity toward Orochimaru." Kakashi responded, "But what about the strange marking around Sasuke's mark? I have never seen anything like it and I don't think you know about Fuinjutsu." "Ayane, should I tell them about you?" Naruto asked himself. Ayane responded, "I suggest that you tell them since they will find out eventually." Kakashi's single eye and Anko's eyes widened as the Jinchuriki nodded in his mind and said, "I had help from the Kyuubi to seal off the cursed mark." "What? How could you trust the thing?" asked Anko. 13 years ago, it massacred hundreds of Konoha ninjas." "It's not her fault, and the Kyuubi is a woman," Naruto remarked. "She was under the influence of Madara, a Uchiha, who wanted to destroy the village." "She might be saying that to trick you," Kakashi remarked. Naruto remarked, "To be honest, sensei, if she was, she would have told me that right away. Besides trying to eat me or trick me into opening the seal. In 8 years, she has never tried to do both." "But," said Kakashi. "Enough, Kakashi," said Sarutobi. "I have trusted Naruto's judgment regarding his burden, and he has been doing well thus far. You should also have faith in him. What to do with Sasuke is what matters most." Anko declared right away that he should be withdrawn from the exams and have Anbu protect him. "It's okay," Naruto said, "but unless he had another Biju nearby and his willpower was strong enough to break it or I was able to free it from its bonds, there is no way he could get the curse mark to work. Additionally, since Sasuke did inherit the Uchiha's obstinate pride, I doubt you will persuade him to change his mind." "We can force him to do so," Anko said, "which will make him bitter and push him to continue on the path toward Orochimaru," Naruto remarked. "Is that a risk you can take, Anko-san? To provide Orochimaru access to the Sharingan so he can play with it and perhaps even run Konohagakure into the ground?" Naruto went on, "Plus Orochimaru wouldn't want you to stop the exams without him," Anko said, clenching her teeth. "The invasion was sparked by Sasuke." "How do you know that there will be an invasion, Naruto-kun?" asked Sarutobi. "Simply put, the Heartless Angel stated, Orochimaru's presence in Konoha is eerie, indicating that he is organizing something. Second, Otto's team attempted to kill Sasuke and me while he was unconscious, but I was able to divert their attention. They also said that Orochimaru would have killed them if they hadn't killed Sasuke, indicating that they were connected to him, but Otto is a new village, so they don't have enough troops for an invasion." "However, you claimed that Orochimaru would invade Konoha," Anko retorted. "He lacks the manpower to attempt to destroy us." "That's correct, which leads to the fact that he is allied with one of the countries here," Naruto retorted. "Suna is the only one who makes the most sense." Kakashi responded, "That is impossible, Suna is our ally. They would never attack us." The boy fixed his gaze on his sensei and said, "No, it's the ideal pretext. They're using the exams to sneak into the village, and since Suna is our ally, we wouldn't expect them to attack us. They're also the ones who send the most teams here." Anko replied, "But only one team from Suna is here in the exams." Naruto remarked, "Sabaku no Gaara is undoubtedly a formidable opponent because he emerged from the forest unscathed. It would be impossible for even a cage to live without getting scratched." "He's right," Sarutobi said, "then we have to get ready for the invasion. Given Orochimaru's tendency to move in and out with his spies, it will take us a month to mobilize, and it must be done covertly. Quickly and discreetly inform all Anbu and Jonin of this situation. Only those you can trust should be informed. I want you to hide this from your genin allies, Naruto." "All right," Naruto said, nodding, "I think we have an exam to finish now." Getting up from his chair, Sarutobi said, "Yes, we do." Anko, wearing a headset, said, "First off, congratulations on passing the second phase of the Chunin exams." The four of them performed a shunshin to emerge in the tower and collect the genin that were seated inside to move them in an arena. In front of their Jonin senseis and the Hokage himself, every genin stood at attention. "We'll let Hokage Sama explain the third test now," Anko said. "How about Hokage Sama?" "Thank you, Anko," said Sarutobi, nodding. "I want to start by personally congratulating you on finishing the second section of this test." The genin became alert at the Hokage's words. "I would like to tell you the real reason for this exam before we start." "Real cause?" Sakura pondered. "Why are all of our allied nations taking the test together?" Sarutobi posed a rhetorical question. "To increase the level of shinobi and foster friendship between the nations." Tendon thought, "Please don't be misled by these pretentious terms. this exam is. As a technical war between the allied countries, Sarutobi went on. With the exception of Gaara, Shino, and Kabuto's team, every genin was taken aback. Wait, what does that mean? Tenten uttered those words. If we could go back in time, all of the allied nations were enemies, Sarutobi thought. The Chunin exam selection was created to address the issue and maintain peace. Why the hell do we have to do that shit? Kiba yelled. Is this for Chunin's decision? In response, Sarutobi said, yes, that is true, but there is more to this test. You are putting yourself in danger to defend the honor of your esteemed village. Leaders and powerful people will be watching the test, and every daimyo will be present to witness your battle. The nation will lose customers if you are viewed as weak, and vice versa. Additionally, it conveys a political message to other nations, demonstrating their power. But, Lee yelled, why must we risk our lives in combat? The strength of the village depends on the strength of the nation, Sarutobi retorted. In turn, the shinobi's strength is the village's strength, and when the shinobi are in danger, their strength is at its strongest. Those who came before you have fought in the Chunin exam for this meaningful dream because it is to demonstrate your own strength, which only has meaning when your life is in danger. But, Tenten remarked, why do you say things like this exam is for friendship? The Hokage said, as I mentioned, I don't want you to misunderstand this goal. In the shinobi world, friendship takes the form of establishing balance and losing life. I'll tell you one more thing before we start the third test. This is more than just a test. Your dreams and the reputation of your nation are at stake in this conflict. Gaara responded, can you hurry up and tell us what this life, risking battle entails? Sarutobi responded, by all means, Hayate-san. The Hokage said, hi, I'd like to now explain the third test now, but, a sickly looking Jonin then interrupted, saying, actually, cough, I would like you to allow me, Gecko Hayate, as a referee. After rising from his kneeling position, Hayate turns to face the genin and says, hello everyone, this is Hayate. Before the third test, there is something that I would like you to do. Naruto raised an eyebrow at him and said, what the hell? Hayate remarked, it's a preliminary for the third test to decide who gets to participate in the main event. This guy looks so sick, but I am guessing that he is using that look for people to underestimate him. Sakura murmured, first steps. Shikamaru yelled, first steps? What the devil does that mean? Simply put, there are too many of you because the first and second tests were far too easy for you guys, Hayate coughed. The regulations require us to have a preliminary and limit the number of participants. The fights will drag on for too long because of the large number of guests, as Hokage Sama stated. Do so right away if any of you feel like giving up. With a shy hand gesture, Kabuto said, I am going to quit. You are Kabuto Yakushi, correct? Alright, you can leave. Who is that child? Ibiki inquired. Based on his data, Kabuto Yakushi has failed 6 times in a row. Additionally, one of our Jonin medics from the Bellflower Pass battle adopted him. He's that kid, isn't he? It appears that Kabuto's work is finished. If you are present, Orochimaru. Sama. I wonder why Sasuke isn't twitching or even gripping his shoulder in pain. Jiraiya is not present, and nobody in Konoha is capable of sealing that cursed mark. According to Hayate, so, no more retiring. The Jonin said, alright, then let's continue the preliminary steps. After no one had moved from their places, you will engage in 1-on-1 combat during this preliminary, essentially fighting as though you were in a real life conflict. We will play 10 matches now that the number is even, and the winners will undoubtedly move on to the third test. There are no rules. The fight goes on until one of you is unconscious or dead, or until I declare the winner, and the thing that determines your fate is. In her microphone, Anko whispered, open it. Hayate coughed and said, now let's announce the first match. As the genin watched in anticipation, a wooden panel opened to reveal an electric scoreboard that started flashing names. Are you certain that you are okay, Sasuke-kun? Sakura whispered. I can't miss this. There are a lot of strong people that I want to fight against, the Uchiha retorted. Sakura, I'm alright. Naruto thought. So Sarutobi.G is removing Sasuke from play early. The board flashed to reveal that Sasuke Uchiha would be facing Yoroi Ikado. Figures since he is a liability here. As everyone departed to watch the battle from the balcony, Sakura turned to face Naruto and asked, will that seal hold it back, Naruto? That seal is extremely difficult to break, Sakura, and he must fulfill specific requirements in order to do so. The only thing he wants so badly is for his brother, Uchiha Itachi, to die, but I doubt we will see him anytime soon, so he must have a strong desire and will to do something. Sakura turned to watch the match and sighed deeply. Are the competitors prepared? Hayate inquired. Yoroi and Sasuke both gave nods of agreement, and the coughing swordsman yelled, "Start!" Sasuke threw a kunai at Yoroi right away, but the enigmatic ninja blocked it with his own and used taijutsu to engage Sasuke. Yoroi kicked Sasuke in the torso, but the Uchiha fell and knocked him down, then pinned him and went to his throat with a kunai. "Give in," Yoroi laughed and said, "Not going to happen, pretty boy," in response to Sasuke's demand. When Yoroi suddenly grabbed Sasuke's high-collared shirt and revealed his chakra, Sasuke felt his strength wane and said, "My strength, my chakra." "Exactly. Chakra absorption is my keke genkai," Yoroi replied. "I can drain your chakra from your body simply by touching you." "Gosh darn you." Sasuke cursed. He kicked Yoroi off of him and moved away to get some distance, panting hard. Orochimaru, in his Jonin disguise, A.N. Okay, how the hell nobody does realize that the pedophile is in a henge that looks exactly like him. Same snake eyes, pale face, dark hair, bingo, it's Orochimaru. Okay, I am done with my rant, frowned in thought, what is going on? My curse seal of heaven should have responded by now at that low chakra level. Hold on a second. That Uzumaki brat is familiar with Fuinjutsu. Was it my clumsy teammate or Sarutobi sensei who taught him? The smirk that appeared on Naruto's face seemed to irritate Orochimaru, as the boy lifted a gloved finger and pressed it to his finger as if he was keeping quiet about Orochimaru's disguise and the secret to sealing his own seal. He turned to face Naruto and was shocked to see that the Uzumaki was staring back at him dead in the face. "Once I force you to remove your suppressor seal, Naruto Uzumaki, I will undoubtedly kill you." Orochimaru thought angrily, "You won't get in the way of my plans to become immortal and learn every jutsu in the world." "What are you grinning at, Naruto?" Kakashi inquired. The Auto team, they wanted to fight Sasuke, but he failed to acquiesce to their request. Fortunately, Kakashi was being held up by the Auto team, who were clearly glaring at Naruto. "Damn it, I can't risk using any chakra due to the seal reacting since Naruto stated that the cursed seal may be able to break through and I can't get too close to him without getting my chakra eaten," Sasuke said, avoiding Yoroi's chakra. Sucking hand for the past few minutes. What ought I to do? How can I help? His thoughts were racing. Sasuke noticed that a seal had formed on his forearm after feeling something pulse there. Huh? He bit his thumb and wiped it across the seal, wondering if Naruto had given him anything while he was asleep. Purple chakra encircled his left hand and extended into a sword. The Kusanagi no Tsurugi. A sapphire jewel that resembled a demon's eye was embedded in the center of the tsuba of a double-edged Jien. What? How on earth is this thing? Surprised, Sasuke asked himself. He got the Kusanagi from Orochimaru. Sama? Yoroi thought in disbelief. Why did he give Sasuke that sword when only one person has it? Kakashi pondered. Anko thought, oh no, not good. So Orochimaru gave Sasuke the fabled Kusanagi no Tsurugi, the sword that can cut through anything. Naruto pondered, judging by that, I am assuming that Orochimaru is choosing Sasuke as his successor. Alright, let's see what you can do, Sasuke said, aiming the Kusanagi at Yoroi. Yoroi had to duck his head before the sword's tip pierced the wall as he directed his chakra into it and caused it to flash forward. How on earth did he obtain that weapon? Orochimaru. Sama gave it to him, but why? Now we are definitely getting somewhere. He smirked as Sasuke cut off the feed and the Kusanagi returned to its original length. The Uchiha charged at Yoroi and swung at him with wild strikes, forcing the spy to dodge in order to avoid being hit. However, Yoroi soon grew weary and Sasuke was able to scratch his cheek. W. What is happening? Yoroi knelt down, panting, as the two of them retreated. My body is immobile. Huh? Said Sasuke, raising an eyebrow. It must be the Kusanagi, and it must be covered in poison that causes paralysis. Why would Naruto give me this, I wonder? The Kusanagi disappeared back into the seal with the same purple haze as Hayate declared. Winner. Uchiha Sasuke. When he returned to Naruto, Sasuke said, thanks for the sword, Naruto. I never gave you that sword, Sasuke. It seems that Orochimaru has a great interest in you to give you that sword and that cursed seal on the left side of your neck. Sasuke was holding the mark on his neck while Naruto, the seal stores your chakra by eating your own forcibly, causing pain and discomfort. It releases the chakra when activated and puts your body into a heightened state of power, but in turn it eats at your mind and body slowly each time you use it. If that's the case, why am I not experiencing any pain from the mark? Asked Sasuke. The reason for this is the seal I applied to it. It traps the corrupted chakra from the cursed mark. Your body will become paralyzed if I decide to release it, which is not happening, or if someone else does it like me, or if your willpower and desire to kill combine. I didn't know you can use Fuinjutsu, said Sasuke, nodding. The swordsman responded, there is a lot of things people don't know about, plus some of the seals I have are to hold back my secondary chakra from use. Hayate stated, the second match, Zaku Abumi and Shino Aburame, fight. In an attempt to kill it fast, Zaku launched an initial close range attack. When Shino raised his arm to block it, Zaku retorted, idiot. Zankuha. Hey, he is done. Zaku blasted Shino off his feet and onto the ground with a sound wave after opening his hand to reveal air holes implanted in his arms. Are you sure about that? Shino said as he stood up. TCH, Zaku said, I will definitely get you this time, Zank. What the hell are you talking about? Zaku said, interrupting Shino, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Then he heard a soft clicking sound and looked behind him to see a horde of bugs converging on his position. Shino replied, the way I see you have three choices. The first one is that if you attack me, my Kakaichu bugs will attack you and devour your chakra. The second is if you attack my bugs, then I will have the opportunity to attack you. The third, which should be the smart choice for you, is to give up and you will be able to walk away from this without going to the hospital. Zaku replied, it would be wise not to underestimate me, you forget. The auto ninja screamed in agony as Zaku's arms suddenly imploded from the inside. But how, my arms? Zaku turned to his side and pointed his arms at Shino and the bugs, saying, you forget that I have two arms. I will blast you and your stupid bugs away. Zankuha, ah. Then he noticed insects scuttling out of his holes. Shino replied, you think I would just let you hit me like that? I sent some bugs silently onto your body when you hit me and the rest was able to get to your arms when I stalled for time. You bastard. Zaku exclaimed. Shino charged at him, punching his opponent in the face with devastating force. Zaku fell on his face after spinning for a moment. Hayate replied, okay, now the third match, will Sabaku no Kankuro and Masumi Tsurugi please come down to the arena? Hey, acknowledged Kankuro, this will be easy enough. Their sensei, Baki, warned Kankuro not to become arrogant. Kankuro went on to the arena while acting as though he hadn't heard him at all. That idiot is going to get himself killed. Tamari muttered as Kankuro turned to face Yoroi's teammate Masumi. Just throw the match or I'll kill you, Masumi said. I apologize, but I intend to win this match, Kankuro said. Then Hayate yelled, begin. Kankuro began by punching Masumi in the face, but the Konoha spy deflected it with his forearm, and then an odd thing occurred. Kankuro was startled when Masumi's arm twisted around his arm, enabling Masumi to tighten his grip throughout Kankuro's body. You see, my bloodline allows me to dislocate my bones and become like rubber. Now forfeit the match or your neck will snap. With a smile, Kankuro replied, never. Masumi continued to squeeze until Kankuro's neck snapped, causing everyone to hear it. When Kankuro's face began to peel off like ceramic, he said, God damn it, I really didn't want to kill him. He then raised his head and completely rotated it to show that the person Masumi was holding was actually a marionette. The puppet uttered the words, now it is my turn, in Kankuro's voice. The arms of the puppet then emerged from the catsuit and encircled Masumi's body. Masumi remarked, a puppet. Then when he turned to face the bandages, he noticed something moving, and a hand emerged to take it off, exposing Kankuro. Masumi remarked, you're a puppet master. The puppet crushed Masumi's bones, causing him to scream in agony before passing out, and Kankuro clenched his fist, saying, that is correct and now I will return the favor, but I won't break your neck, instead I will break everything else. Kankuro remarked, like I said, too easy. That was close, I almost called the match too soon, Hayate thought. As the medics arrived and carried Masumi's fractured body, Kankuro made his way back upstairs. Now for the fourth match, will Sakura Haruno and Ino Yamanaka please come down? Hayate asked. After exchanging quick glances, the two descended the stairs. Despite not being interested in the match, Naruto in particular watched for the entertainment value. After learning the academy taijutsu style, the two fangirls engaged in combat. Sakura took advantage of the academy jutsu, such as the bunshin and kawarimi, while Ino used her hair cut from her ponytail in a novel way to trap Sakura. Everyone knew that the girls were evenly matched as the match went on, and as a result, they were both knocked out simultaneously. So she is finally on the path of the kunoichis. Even though you didn't win and still have that fangirl mentality, you have gotten a bit stronger, Sakura. The next match, Sabaku no Tamari vs Tenten, Hayate stated. As she descended the stairs, she saw Tamari grinning confidently and asked, "Are the contestants prepared?" After receiving confirmation nods from both kunoichis, Hayate sliced off his hand and said, "Start." The weapons mistress threw a kunai at the wind mistress, but Tamari collected wind natured chakra to deflect the blow. Tenten and Tamari both leapt back to gain some separation. "What?" Tenten asked. However, that attack was spot on. She's manipulating the wind, Naruto thought. Bad matchup for Tenten. Without a fire jutsu, she has no chance at all of winning. Given that Tenten hasn't asked anyone to teach her ninjutsu and that Guy is incapable of doing it, Tenten is at a significant disadvantage. "This is the first moon, girl," Tamari said, unclasping her fan and opening it to reveal a purple moon. "The match will end when you see all three." "How is she doing that?" Tenten gritted her teeth and searched her mind. "Even though she doesn't use any hand signals or anything, my attacks are still effective." "You are on the second moon, sister," Tamari said, after Tenten ran at her and threw kunai in all directions, thinking, this should work. However, the attack failed once more, and Tamari swung her fan to blow back Tenten and her weapons. "Look, it's over. My style has been shown twice to be effective against your weapons," Tamari said. Lee said softly, "Tenten, you are not considering employing that method, are you?" Tenten unclasped the two scrolls on her hips. Tenten put the two scrolls apart and bit her thumb, drawing blood, thinking, "I have no choice, this move should be able to pierce that wind defense of hers. I can't lose here, there is someone that I want to fight here." "Well, as they say, the third time is the charm. So sure you," she yelled. Tenten flew up and levitated in the center as the two scrolls burst and twirled around her. She grabbed one of the scrolls in midair and started to flip it around her until it unfurled around her. She then swiped her blood on the markings, causing different weapons to appear. Tenten smirked and returned her hands to her body, and to everyone's surprise, the weapons returned to her after she threw them one by one at Tamari, who swung her fan to cause the weapons to blow off course and stab or fall on the ground around her. Kakashi responded, "Very clever, she used wires to attack to the weapons, clever girl that Guy got." Tamari swung her fan and yelled, "Ninpo! Kamaitachi no jutsu, sorry, today is not your day, you lose, princess." Once more, the weapons were blown back, trapping Tenten in a wind cyclone where she was sliced by unseen wind blades. "You held back, Miss Tamari." Naruto grabbed the unconscious Tenten before she hit the ground and handed her over to the medics after Tamari caught her in her arms before she fell to the ground. "I didn't want to hurt her too badly after I realized that she had no ninjutsu." "I see, congratulations on your win. Winner, Sabaku no Tamari." "Thank you, Naruto-san." After Naruto repositioned himself, Kakashi said, "It's your turn now, Naruto." The Jinchuriki glanced at the board and saw that Kiba Inazaka and Naruto Uzumaki were paired together for the sixth match. "Get started." Hayate coughed as she spoke. Naruto smiled and said, "You really need to get your lungs checked again, Hayate-san." "I know, Yugo wants to spar with you again. Sure, I will see her for training." "Are you going to fight me or talk to the proctor all day?" Kiba asked. After removing first Tsurugi and smashing it into the adjacent wall, Naruto called forth Masamune and hurled it past Kiba so that it rested atop the hand statue. "What are you doing?" "Mainly I have been using my bloodline and swords for the longest while, so I figured that I will show something new." As he went on, Naruto positioned himself and stretched his gloves, saying, "Like my skills as a ninja, plus I think I should give you a fair chance at fighting me hand to hand, Kiba." "Fine, it is whatever you like, I will still beat you." Aside from Hinata, Lee, and Neji, Kiba has the strongest taijutsu style here, Kurenai reflected. While Naruto excels at kenjutsu, Kiba is more skilled at taijutsu. "Kiba, is Akamaru fighting with you?" Naruto arched an eyebrow. "I'll take that as a yes," Naruto grinned as Akamaru barked. "I won't be forgiving of you too." "Of course, Akamaru fights with me and him are a team." "Well, then it is your move, Kiba." "Happy, hold on a minute, Akamaru." "Ninpo. Jutsu no Shikyaku." Kiba's nails sharpened like a beast as his arms and legs were charged with chakra. "Interesting," added Sephiroth. "Beast mode. I was watching Beast Wars, which is a good show, by the way," Ayane said. "This should be enjoyable." "Which is stronger, Kiba's clan taijutsu or Tifa's martial arts?" Cloud remarked. Naruto spat out some blood as Kiba slammed his elbow into his stomach, causing the boy to skid back and stop. "Is that all you got? Kiba, even though you hit hard, it won't be enough to subdue me." "What were you saying?" "I'm letting you hit me to see how hard you hit, and it won't help you in this match," I said. "It will be enjoyable." In front of Kiba, Naruto flashed, "It's my turn. Beat rush. Alright, Akamaru, tag in." Kiba's eyes widened as the hits hit his body, and he then flew back toward Akamaru's position. The two leapt to their feet and ran at Naruto, where Kiba threw a smoke bomb to block the Jinchuriki's view. "You mean a smoke bomb? Fuden. Daitopa." As Kiba and Akamaru began to attack, the smoke cleared, and Naruto grabbed Akamaru by the scruff of his neck and threw him at the flying Kiba, who fell to the ground while Naruto stood composedly in front of them, anticipating their next move. "That's it. Let's stop teasing, Akamaru." As he gave Akamaru a soldier pill and consumed one himself, Kiba yelled, "Well, at least I know why he is named Akamaru now." Ninpo. Jujin Bunshin no Jutsu. Akamaru's fur turned red before he leapt on top of Kiba. 2. Grab this. Gatsuga. In order to avoid the move, the Jinchuriki ran toward the wall and backflipped off over it. "They're spinning way too fast for me to stop them without injuring myself, and I don't want to use any Mako energy," said Kiba and Akamaru as they moved toward Naruto while spinning quickly like a drill. Naruto thought, "Let's see, that might actually work." Before Kiba and Akamaru could get to him, the swordsman reached behind him and pulled out a smoke bomb, and they held their noses and coughed and sputtered, "This smoke, it's pungent. What are you doing?" "Never thought I would use one of my old smoke bombs from my academy days, but it has served its purpose." When Kiba turned, he saw Naruto crossing his arms and saying, "I win, Velvet Nightmare." The wind suddenly grew stronger and swirled around Kiba until it was dark. "What is this? A genjutsu? Huh? Fool, isn't he aware that the Crimson Genjutsu Mistress is my sensei? Kai?" Nothing took place. "What? Kai, why does it not function?" Akamaru emerged from a portal that appeared out of nowhere. "Hey, Akamaru, come on. We are in a genjutsu. Akamaru?" Kiba screamed as his best friend ripped into him viciously, but the pain abruptly stopped and Kiba was thrown back into reality. The adorable and kind puppy started to growl, and his eyes glowed with evil intent. With first Tsurugi and Masamune on his left and right sides, respectively, Naruto was seated Indian style in front of Akamaru, who was unconscious at his side. "Velvet Nightmare, my personal genjutsu that I made, it makes you see your worst fears," Naruto said. "The betrayal of your best friend, Akamaru, was your nightmare. But, how were you able to maintain your genjutsu even after you completed the release?" "Simple, Velvet Nightmare is continuous as long as the user has chakra, which is why I made it fit me. Furthermore, if I thought your sensei was deserving of learning genjutsu, she would be worn out after using it due to its many layers. If I had wanted to, I could have kept you in that realm for the entire day because I have a lot of chakra. So would you like to experience it a second time or forfeit?" Kiba asked, swallowing as Naruto's blue-green eyes peered into his soul. Kiba grinned and laughed a little, saying, "You have changed a lot since I saw you last time, Naruto." "Fine, I forfeit. If not, look behind you." Kiba saw a clone poised to cast it. "But the next time, I'll defeat you." "You can try anytime, Kiba," said Naruto with a sly smile. Naruto Uzumaki won. Neji Hyuga and Hinata Hyuga are playing in the 7th match. Kiba remarked, "This isn't good." Watching Neji glare at Hinata, Naruto remained silent. After passing Hinata with Kiba, Naruto said, "Hinata." "Yes, Naruto-kun, do your best. I don't give a damn if you defeat Neji. However, I would consider you strong if you could confront him and engage in combat. Additionally, you could beat him with a one-handed sign, but both you and he would suffer greatly from that technique." "Are you nuts?" Kiba whispered as she nodded and lowered herself. "She is a member of the main house family, and he will kill her. Would you prefer that she flee from all of her issues? She will eventually have to deal with him, and it would reflect poorly on our village's standing. I no longer enjoy this as much as you do, Kiba, but it's Hinata's only and best chance to develop. I'll stop the match if he acts ill-willed." With their backs to each other, Neji said, "I never thought that I would be facing you." Hinata said, quietly, "Neji.ni.san." Sasuke arched an eyebrow and said, "Never knew that Hinata had a brother." Kakashi responded, "That is because they aren't Sasuke, they are members of the Hyuga clan, but they are not brother and sister." So then, Sakura said to the Jonin with the silver hair, "What are they?" Lee stated, "Hinata is a member of the main house, while Neji is in the branch house." Kakashi stated, "They are members of the Hyuga's main and branch houses." Sakura inquired, "What is causing Neji to look angry at her?" According to Lee, many things happened between both houses and they are at odds right now. "Neji will harm her cousin, but Hinata would not dare," Naruto remarked. If he takes this seriously, it's a bad matchup. Hayate yelled, "Start!" Hinata's eyes widened and she turned to the side as Neji said, "Before we begin, I like to speak freely, Hinata. Sama. You don't make a good shinobi, forfeit the match." Neji went on, "You agree with others, never oppose, you wish for peace, and you avoid conflict. You are too kind. Given that you lack self-confidence and that the Chunin exam could be taken in a group of 3, you couldn't refuse the request, could you?" Neji responded, "As I was thinking. You are a spoiled brat of the main family, Hinata. Sama." Hinata responded, "No, IW. Wanted to change myself, do something on my own. It is impossible for people to change. Losers will always be losers. They cannot alter their strength or personality in any way." "Immediately I don't like his ass at all for saying that," Naruto thought, frowning. "Differences were born and the terms loser and elite were created because people can't change," the Destiny jackass added. "People evaluate and are evaluated according to appearance, intelligence, personality, ability, and size. People discriminate and are discriminated against based on these unchangeable factors, and they then suffer as a result. Similar to the fact that I was born in the branch and you in the main family." Naruto was thinking, "Okay, this guy is really pissing me off with this Destiny shit he is spouting out of his ass." Neji responded, "I can see through you with my Byakugan, you are acting strong, but really you want to run and hide." The feeble reply from Hinata was, "No, I really." "What is the Byakugan?" asked Sakura. "It is more insightful than the Sharingan," Kakashi said. "Rumor has it that the Hyuga clan is the ancestor of the Uchiha clan." In order to intimidate Hinata, Neji turned on the Byakugan. Her eye moved to the upper left corner, then to the lower right, and she touched her mouth with her pointer finger. "I can see through," Neji said with a smug grin. "Your eye went to the upper left, which indicates that you are recalling your traumatic past, and then to the lower right, which indicates that you are visualizing both mental and physical suffering. That is, that you are visualizing losing. Rising your arms in front of yourself means that you are trying to distance yourself from me because everything that I predicted was true," Neji went on, causing Hinata to flinch and raise her arms. "Additionally, touching your lip is a sign of a disturbed personality. You are attempting to calm your anxiety. In other words, you haven't come to terms with the fact that you cannot alter your destiny." "You are pretty pathetic for someone with an icicle stuck up his ass," Naruto retorted. "You control your own fate, so Hinata can choose to become strong or not. In the case of ninja, it does not exist." When the Hyuga jackass turned to face Hinata, her eyes were full of resolve. "So you won't forfeit, then I will not be responsible for what happens here." Hinata thought, I won't run away anymore." The Hyuga heiress then assumed the Hyuga stance, saying, "Let's fight, Neji." Nissan. Both of them charged at each other as Neji slipped into the same stance, saying, "Fine." Lee remarked, "I thought so. Their stances are similar, the same Hyuga style." Sakura responded, "Hyuga style? That style is the strongest taijutsu," Lee replied. Neji and Hinata engaged in ferocious combat while captivating the audience with their lethal dance of death. Neji's knowledge and control of chakra clashed with Hinata's flexibility, with both parties attempting to gain the upper hand. Hinata then spotted a gap and directed her chakra at Neji's torso, where she found a scrape. Neji said, taking a step back and gripping his chest. As he watched her, Naruto grinned and said softly, "Go, Hinata, you kick his ass. Prove to him that you are not weak." According to Sakura, but she only barely hit him. Lee responded, "That is the thing, a slight scratch is all it takes. That is all it needs." Sakura said, "Lee-kun, explain. It may not look impressive, but you feel the after effects as the battle progresses." Hinata fought, forcing Neji to go on the defensive. "The Hyuga-style taijutsu has been passed down," Guy said. "The taijutsu Lee and I used, Goken, is solely for bruises and breaking bones, while the Hyuga-style, Juken, causes damage to the chakra network." Shino was thinking, "Hinata's in control of the battle, Naruto. You actually gave her the confidence to stand up for herself, and now I am seeing the true Hinata Hyuga." "Hinata," Kurenai thought. "So they attacked the chakra network system," Sakura remarked. Hinata and Neji leapt back and clashed after Naruto stated, "Anybody can utilize this style by knowing the anatomy of the body well, but their Byakugan helps them perfect the style, since they can see the chakra network." Sakura exclaimed, "Did she get him?" Loudly. Everyone was shocked when Hinata coughed up blood. Neji responded, "So this is the extent of the main family household." Neji's eyes widened as he swiftly reacted by grabbing her arm and pressing a point, but Hinata thought, "Not yet," as she knocked his arm away and pointed at his head. He then revealed red, like bruises on her arms by pulling back her sleeves. No way, Hinata remarked, from the beginning, you. Hinata was knocked back in the chest and skidded a few feet away from him. Exactly, I have stopped your flow of chakra in your arms. You can no longer utilize the Jiyuken style against me, it was fated that you will lose. She had a hard time getting up. Hinata. Sama, there is a difference in talent that will never change between us, the difference that makes you the loser and me the elite. This reality cannot be changed. From the moment you said you did not want to run, you were setting yourself up for regret, you should be overcome with desperation. Forfeit. The Kyuubi jailer yelled, go get him, Hinata, show him what you can do. At that moment, Hinata got to his feet and said, I don't go back, on my word, because that is also my ninja way. Naruto grinned as he thought, she stole my nindo, hey. Kurenai thought frantically, she is at her limit. Any more damage and she'll. Guy thought, she can't defeat him. Neji would most likely survive this test. Kakashi said, this Neji is quite formidable, I doubt that Sasuke or Naruto will be able to beat him. Gaara watched the fight closely, knowing what was going through his unstable mind. Naruto grinned and nodded as Hinata glanced up at him. Then the heiress rushed toward her cousin. Neji blocked her arm and raised his palm to strike her chin. She thought, Naruto-kun, I have always watched you for years. I don't know why, but when I look at you, I feel like I can do anything. I feel courage, I feel like I am worth something, that is how I began to feel. After skidding back, she charged at him once more. Thought, Hinata, you used to always quit, I know better than anyone else about the tough training you put yourself into. You would fail missions and were weak when it mattered the most, eventually losing your confidence quickly. But, that child is no more because the woman I see has changed. I have always watched you, Naruto-kun, Hinata reflected, but now you are the one watching me. You understand nothing, your attacks have done nothing since the beginning, Neji said, striking Hinata in the chest. Why do you persist on standing? If you keep on pushing yourself, you will die, Neji responded. Because the person I admire is finally watching me, Hinata thought. The princess of Hyuga exclaimed, it's not over. Neji laughed. Acting touch is futile, I can see that you can barely stand at all. From the time of your birth, the responsibilities of the main family were pressed upon you. You have always hated your weakness, but people can't change fate. There is no need to suffer, so let it go. With a gentle yet firm response, Hinata said, you are wrong, Neji, because that person that is suffering and lost in the destinies of the main and branch families is actually you. Neji attempted to strike Hinata, but Naruto stopped him by grasping Hinata in his right hand and Masamune in his left. He sneered, protection for the main branch. Emotionally, Naruto said, no. Protection for you from the real me. Neji turned to see the Jonin holding Naruto back and Masamune prodding the spot close to his heart. Naruto, calm down. You can beat him in the next round. Kakashi responded. I know, I am just making a point to Neji about why you shouldn't mess with the fallen angel's friends. Whatever, but here is some advice. A loser will always be a loser, and second, it is rude to talk during a serious match. Neji wanted to attack, but he was reminded of the point close to his heart once more. And here is some advice to you. Stop sucking your deceased father's small microscopic probe he calls a dick and get that 10-foot by 5-inch icicle dildo that you affectionately call fate out of your ass. And pray that we don't meet in the exam, because in the words of my senpai's friend, I am going to make you my bitch. As the battles continued, Shikamaru defeated Kin by causing her to slam her head against the wall. Rock Lee put forth a tremendous effort to defeat Sabaku no Gaara, but his double-edged style knocked him out early. Naruto and Guy were able to stop Gaara from ruining Lee's dream of becoming a ninja. Choji Akamichi vs Dosu Kinuda was the final match. Because the water in Choji's body could transmit sound, Dosu used his melody arm to render him unconscious. After that, the winners of each match had to draw lots to determine who would face whom, and Naruto grinned while battling Neji in the opening match. Naruto was aware that the rules were a cover-up, even though they stated that they would have to wait a whole month to face their opponents in order to acquire new skills. Sasuke briefly stopped Naruto from moving away as soon as he started off. He said, wait, Naruto. Yes? Who was your Kenjutsu teacher? I need to know, so I can use the Kusanagi better. Unfortunately, my teacher, Sasuke, is dead now. He pleaded with me not to share his style with anyone. Plus, the style is not suited for you, Naruto said after pausing for a moment. What do you mean? The style is called Vanishing Angel. It requires a lot of speed to actually use, speed that surpasses Maida Guy's own. Using that speed puts a lot of strain on your body and then your legs will be destroyed in the process. The only reason why I can pull this off is because of my healing factor that I seem to possess. Sasuke was a little let down that he was unable to pick up Naruto's style. Try asking Kakashi since he is training you already. He used to be the commander of the Anbu Black Ops, so he should know about Kenjutsu, said Naruto. How did you get so strong? You were at least Jonin level in Kenjutsu alone since you defeated Zabuza. How long have you been able to keep this a secret? Since I was 4, which is the usual age where clan children started to train. My teacher found me in the alley, looking for food. He was very old and needs someone to teach his styles too. He noticed something that was similar in me and decided to teach me. We found a secluded cave and we went there to train. Naruto stopped and continued. I knew that it would be suspicious of me having this much power considering people had hated me, so I played the idiot and made sure that everyone had believed me. Why do they hate you? That is another story, that I am not ready to reveal just yet, but I will tell you guys sometime. Now have fun with Kakashi. Sasuke was thinking, Naruto, why does this village doesn't like you and what is it that you are not telling me? Then, with Haku's assistance of course, Naruto literally threw himself into training. Knowing that Orochimaru was the kind to try new things, she needed the training. He deduced that Neji was an expert in the Juken style and sketched out a few possible outcomes in case he had any unexpected surprises. Let's see, Masamune. First Tsurugi or dual-wielding both. Masamune can be used to give Neji quick and very painful strikes. First Tsurugi provides brutality along with the Omnilash. Decisions. Remember, Naruto, don't kill him, make him suffer and feel pain, lots of it, Cloud replied. Never knew you would suggest sadistic things, Cloud, sensei. I was in the same position as you when Sephiroth killed Aerith. She has many qualities of Hinata, but she was a lot different. I know, you told me that she was kind, always spoke her mind and forgave someone without hesitation. It's a shame that she died physically. Physically? Cloud asked. What I mean is that as long as you never forget the good times that you had shared with her, she will be with you always. You can still hear her voice if you listen to your heart. Never took you for the sentimental deep person, Naruto, Cloud laughed. Well, Cloud. Sensei, between the 4 of us, we have a blonde with a brooding complex like the Uchihas, a silver-haired man with a god complex that is borderline confidence and arrogance and a 9-tailed vixen with a blood fetish. Someone has to be deep and charming in this group. Cloud chuckled. And he got a sense of humor. You still have your old self floating around somewhere. But of course, I can't be a clone of you and Sephiroth, sensei. Right, oh, you better pay attention now. Naruto saw that she was exhausted and blinked to dodge one of Haku's blows. The Hyeten user objected, saying, alright, Haku-chan, that's enough. But I can still, she swayed to one side, and Naruto caught her right away before she hit the ground. The swordsman spread his wings and took off for his house, saying, unfortunately you don't have the benefits of a Jinchuriki with mountains of stamina. Now hold on tight. Haku held him close to her chest as he flew through the air, and she saw the village spread out below. When he finally reached their house, he landed cleanly on the mansion's porch. When she didn't respond, the angelic man said, you can let go now, Haku-chan. He looked down to see that Haku had fallen asleep en route, which made the boy smile. She is an amazing woman, that she is. In response, Sephiroth said, yes, she is. With some difficulty, Naruto walked through the door and placed Haku in her bed. Naruto had to create a clone to take his place because Haku was clinging to him. After that, he departed to visit Hinata in the hospital. As he arrived, he noticed Sakura already there, attempting to locate Sasuke. She said aloud, but he was supposed to be here. Sakura turned to face Naruto and said, Naruto, do you know where Sasuke is? Calm down, Sakura, Sasuke is fine. Training with Kakashi. Sensei outside the village somewhere, knowing him, he wants to get stronger than ever. Sakura appeared somewhat dejected until Naruto went on, don't worry, Sakura, he will be fine. He is stronger than you think despite what has happened to him in the past with his brother. Then she remembered that day when they first introduced themselves as the new Team 7. Brother? She asked. Right, he was your blood brother. Yes, Itachi was someone that I respect still to this day. A great ninja and an even greater friend. But now he is a murderer. All ninja are murderers, Sakura, in this world, it is kill or be killed. If I know Itachi, he never does anything without a reason, especially when it involves killing. Sakura questioned, perplexed, what? When Itachi fought in the Third Great Shinobi War and saw the destruction that the Kyuubi made when it was released, he became a pacifist, he only killed when it was necessary. So in my theory, either Itachi is dead and someone impersonated him or someone else was manipulating him in the shadows. The latter sounds very profound to me. But that is my opinion, not saying if it is true or not. When did you get so smart, Naruto? At 2, Sakura. There are certain conditions that happened in the past involving me. Thus the academy instructors except Iruka Sensei disliked me and made attempts to hinder my judgment. I foresaw this and snuck into the library to study on everything while making myself look like I was an idiot. Sakura responded, okay, Naruto, but I mean, there is so much that we don't know about you. You took on Orochimaru and actually kept up, you defeated Zabuza Momochi. Plus after years of pretending, you suddenly assumed this persona of being smart and highly skilled. Most genin can't even attain that strength even if you train so young like Hinata did. I had a lot of help. My teachers were sadists basically and I trained until I became unconscious. Nothing more, nothing less. Now if you will excuse me, I am going to see Hinata. Chan. He started walking towards Hinata's room and paused briefly. Oh, and Sakura, in the meantime, you should train considering that Sasuke only acknowledges strong kunoichi. How do you know that? Haven't you noticed that back in the academy, Sasuke never once looked, spoke or even breathed your way? It was because you were simply fangirls looking for love instead of focusing on your skills. Girls like Hinata, Tamari and Tenten are what he is looking for, that way he doesn't have to play the part of the prince saving the damsel in distress. Sakura was left thinking about him after he left. When Naruto found Hinata's room and crept inside, he discovered that she was asleep. A gravelly voice then said, I knew that you would come here, Uzumaki. Why, hello, Gaara, do you mind telling me what are you doing in here? You know, if you wanted to see me, you could have asked around, Naruto said calmly, without turning. Replied, asking people for directions is trivial, plus you showed great care for this woman back at the stadium, so this was the fastest and easiest way to find you. I wanted to ask you something. And what is that? Gaara-san, why do you exist? Excuse me? Why do you exist? What is your purpose in living in this world, Uzumaki Naruto? I suppose you think differently, but why do I exist? It's because of my friends. They're the reason I exist, the reason I fight, to protect them from anyone and anything that could harm them. My mother, Kurora, was forced to seal the Ichibi no Shukaku inside me by my father, the Yondaime Kazekage, Gaara said with a sly smile and a small laugh. My mother cursed my father before she passed away because he had condemned her life and her son's life and sanity. He hated me because I took his sister away by living, and when I got too strong for him to handle, he sent assassins after me, including my uncle Yashimaru. My mother gave me my sand, which keeps me safe at all times. Why do you feel the need to tell me this, Gaara? Naruto retorted. Because our eyes are the same, but we have different reasons of existence. I want to see whose reason of existence is stronger, your existence for friends or my existence for myself. Funny, we are similar. My own father, the Yondaime Hokage, sealed the Kyuubi inside me. But I had friends who acknowledged my existence even though I was abused as a child. When we fight, one shall rise while the other shall fall. Naruto said to his brother. I will look forward to it, Uzumaki Naruto. Gaara gave Naruto a deranged smile before the Ichibi container vanished through Suna Shunshin. Naruto turned to find Hinata still asleep. Good, she didn't hear anything. I am still not ready to tell her yet. I better go. Sweet dreams, Hinata. Following that, the Jinchuriki departed using his own Shunshin, leaving behind a black and white feather, respectively. After a rigorous training schedule, Naruto went to the hot springs the following day to unwind. Naruto whispered as he slipped into the water. He opened one eye to see a middle-aged man peeking through a makeshift hole after hearing giggling. He sat on top of a toad, had white hair, and was dressed in kabuki. Jiraiya of the Toad Sanin. Looks like I can blow off some steam from Neji after all. Naruto was thinking. The swordsman pulled first Tsurugi out of the water, changed into his clothes, and swung at the pervert. Jumping to his feet to avoid the slash, the man said, Who the hell are you, Gaki? Go away, you are interrupting my research. He landed behind Naruto. Me, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki and more importantly, your fucking godson. When Naruto materialized in front of Jiraiya and stabbed him, his eyes widened. So you know, the pervert said, avoiding the thrust. Jiraiya winced at the venom in his voice as he said, Yeah, I fucking know. Now get over here, so I can kick your ass. He opened his mouth to say, Now look, but Naruto cut him off. The sadness and pain in his godson's eyes were evident as Jiraiya watched. No, you look, I can understand about your prowess with infiltration and espionage, but you could have visited once in a while. Do you know what I have been through? He said. More than enough, no words can express my regret, so to make up for it, I will train you for the Chunin exams. You better, and it is going to take a long while for me to get my forgiveness. Now what do you have for me? I could teach you summoning, Naruto interrupted, saying, try again. I got that covered already and no, I am not going to tell you what it is. Jiraiya said, how about your father's prized jutsu, the Rasengan? Naruto gave it some thought. Naruto said, alright, show me. Alright, I am intrigued, what is the first step? The Jinchuriki asked after Jiraiya produced a spinning chakra orb with his hand. Jiraiya then produced a water balloon and told him, first, you must pop this water balloon using only your chakra. When you are done, come back and I will show you the second step. Jiraiya pondered, damn, he is good with that sword of his. I wonder who taught him though, as Naruto nodded and walked away. It looks like I wouldn't be able to catch you off guard. I am going to need you to die, so I can fight Sasuke. I wonder what is faster, my sound or your sand? A voice said as Gaara stood atop a building, gazing at the moon. When Gaara looked down and saw it was Dosu, he merely remarked, it gets agitated when a full moon appears. What? Asked Dosu. Then, as Gaara changed and instantly killed him, his eyes grew wide. An enigmatic figure exclaimed, wow, so that is his true form. Yes, but is that okay? He was a sound nin, Baki retorted. Nah, it's okay. He fulfills his role, the figure retorted. Baki responded, but I thought he was supposed to gauge that Sasuke kid's strength. Why? Him and the sand are conversing, Hayate thought, unaware that he was listening in on the conversation. There was no need for that anyway, the smiling figure remarked. I was actually given orders to abduct Sasuke-kun, but I failed too. What? Baki's single eye narrowed. They found out that I was a spy for the Hidden Sound Village. Do you realize that if someone finds out that you are here meeting with me, our plans to crush the leaf will be ruined? I had heard that you were Orochimaru's right hand, but I wasn't expecting you to fail and meet me after you have been discovered by the leaf. Kabuto laughed. Actually, they never did find me out, I uncovered my identity on my own free will. I wanted to see the reaction with that information, taking Sasuke after that will not be a problem at all. Baki responded, if it appears that you are failing, and then the sand will withdraw. You came up with this plan and presented to us. We will remain hidden in the shadows until the last moment, this is the Cage's will. The eyes of Hayate grew wide, how can this? Here are our plans, also it is time that they know about the plan as well, so please inform them, Kabuto said, passing Baki a scroll. Got it, Hayate was thinking, our ally has already connected with the sound, I must inform Hokage Sama about this. Unfortunately, Kabuto said, oh, one more thing. I will clean up here, after the two cooperating ninja heard Hayate move. I'd like to see what sort of guys are hanging around here. No, I will do it. As a partner, Suna should do something too, Baki retorted. Also, there is only one rat, so there is no issue. Shit. Said Hayate in a whisper. Baki managed to catch him as he moved through Shunshin. Well, Examiner Dotsan, why are you out here at this hour of the night? Hayate remarked. Looks like I got to fight my way out of this one, in response to Baki's casual statement. With his sword drawn, Hayate declared, Konoha no Ryu. Mikazuki no Mai. Cage Bunshins. But the Mikazuki no Mai only used illusion clones. Baki exclaimed in shock as Hayate divided into 3 clones and stabbed him. A friend of mine helped me improve this move with it. The voice of Kabuto said, is that Naruto-kun? Looks like this rat was a bit elusive that you thought, Kabuto said to Baki, who was gripping his shoulder wound, as Hayate's eyes widened and he struck his heart with his Chakura no Mesu. Simply put, Baki said, Fuden. Cage no Yeba. Damn it, why Yugo? Hayate murmured as he fell. Well, at least I died fighting and my last memory is of you, Yugo. Haim and Naruto, please protect her. Because of his preparations, Naruto was awake later that night when he heard a knock on the door. Shutting his book, Naruto went to the door and opened it to find Yugo crying. Yugo, what happened and why are you here? She ran into Naruto's chest and sniffed, saying, he's dead. Who has passed away? The Hokage. No Hayate, he was killed by someone. His body was discovered by one of the Jonin, slashed from shoulder to shoulder. He was surrounded by crows. Do you know who did it? Naruto asked, his eyes widening as he read the description. While sobbing in his chest, Yugo shook her head silently. Naruto caressed her hair and reassured her, it's okay, Yugo. You'll be staying here tonight, okay? As he escorted her into his home, Naruto held her close. As he thought, Something tells me that this had Orochimaru's hand all over this one. He placed her on the couch, made a cage bunchen in case she did something crazy, and brought her some tea. I will make sure that he suffers as a result of this outrage. As Yugo whispered, I can't believe that he is gone. We were going to get married in a month from now. The Jinchuriki sat next to her. Naruto answered, I know, we will get the person who did this, Yugo. We will punish him or her for killing Hayate, I promise. Knowing him, I can say that he didn't give up easily. Was there a smile on his lips? Naruto uttered those words with a laugh devoid of humor. Yes, he did. How did you find out? He always told me that his final memory would be of you, and he would be smiling if he passed away. I chuckled. I assumed he was kidding because he would live a long life with you by his side. Naruto gave her a serious response. Utada Hikaru's sanctuary. After the battle, Naruto took Yugo in his arms once more and simply held her as she started to cry, saying, Hayate. He also told me something else. He told me that if something happened to him, I was to take care of you, Yugo. I promise that I will do it for Hayate and find his killer. I will make you pay, Orochimaru. Yugo remained silent but kept crying while Naruto held her close until she eventually dozed off on his chest while Naruto listened to her breathing. The snake Sanin became uneasy when Orochimaru reached for his medicine cup somewhere close to Konoha and it shattered completely. That is not a good sign. Hey, somebody must be really upset with me, the snake thought. The Jinchuriki had decided to use both of them on Neji over the course of the month, but first Tsurugi would be saved for Orochimaru or the bastard who killed his friend. Naruto was prepared for action. He had trained hard with Haku, Yugo, and Jiraiya for both the invasion and his battle against Neji and his other opponents. Hey, you made it, Shikamaru said as he turned to face his comrade after entering the stadium with composure and reserve until he heard the thunderous roars of the crowd. With a gentle smile, the Jinchuriki said, I wouldn't miss it for the world, Shikamaru. Then he looked around, asking, where are Sasuke and that Dosu character? Then he saw Genma Shiranui, the new proctor, chewing his customary senbon. As he dug through his Jonin flak jacket, he said, look alive, all of you. You are the entertainers for today's show. Also I want you all to take a good look at the matches. There have been some slight chances in them. Now, will all of the contestants except Neji Hyuga and Naruto Uzumaki please proceed to the stands? Naruto looked to see that the matches were now even, but his match had not changed at all. The Jinchuriki smirked when he saw the Hyuga brandishing a naginata after the prospective Chunins left the arena, leaving Naruto and Neji facing one another. So, instead of groping people, the Hyuga clan does have a fighting style, huh? Your fate is to lose to me, Uzumaki, Neji snarled. I beg to differ, Hyuga. I believe that it will only take 2 seconds to kick your ass, but you made the wrong decision in trying to kill Hinata, so I am going to drag this out by making you suffer. Neji Hyuga vs Naruto Uzumaki is the first match. Fight. Just as Naruto was pulling out Vigilante in its first compartment, Vendetta, Neji charged. The Hyuga dropped his weapon in a downward arc, but the Jinchuriki kicked Neji in the stomach and blocked it with Vendetta. Just as Neji was getting better, Naruto combined the front side blade into Vigilante and removed the next back blade, which was called Avenger and had a serrated edge. The final piece was then called forth by the seal on his pack. Your fate is sealed. There is no way you can defeat me, the white-eyed boy said. Well, don't you seem conceited? Naruto flashed in front of Neji, who winced in surprise, saying, should I give you despair? I am the one that is kicking your stomach and I have defied time and time again. It looks like that to make you see the truth. I will have to give you a present. The Hyuga yelled, Kaden, as the Jinchuriki slashed down at them. Ah, the famous Kaden, such a technique, but I believe that is reserved for the main family only, he said, spinning in a perfect circle and repelling Naruto's attack with a dome of chakra. You are the hypocrite, aren't you? What? I thought the branch family was supposed to be weaker in terms of strength, yet you have defied that fate. You haven't seen nothing yet, Neji said, clenching his teeth. Tenten thought to herself, Naruto is strong and quick, and he has the advantage over Neji. The Kaden and the naginata that I gave him is the only matter of defense, but why doesn't he finish it? Naruto responded, neither have you, and equipped Merciless and Avenger. A voice said, it is because that he is toying with him. Tenten looked up to see a woman with purple hair wearing an Enbukat mask. Enbu.san. Tenten uttered those words. To put it another way, Neji tried to kill, let alone seriously hurt, one of his friends. Just call me Neko. Because he was raised alone as an orphan from birth. Naruto values his friends very much. He becomes extremely sadistic when he is angry, so your teammate will essentially have to face the possibility of dying. After a brief exchange of glares, Naruto held up 2 fingers and said, You have 2 tries left, Neji Hyuga. You know, for someone named the Heartless Angel, you seem to talk more than fight. HMPH, fine, no more talking then. Are you still considering it? Remember the gasp she let out when I hit her in the heart? Neko muttered, oh shit, that was the wrong thing to say, kid. Neji suddenly felt a tremendous sense of murderous intent, and he gasped when he saw the outline of a man with silver hair holding an odashi. You know what? Fuck it. Naruto sent a blade beam at Neji and removed Sidewinder and Ascalon to throw them into the air. Kaden. After the wave struck the dome and the smoke cleared, Naruto summoned Masamune with his left hand and held out the first Tsurugi with his right, then he sped in Neji's direction and attempted to execute Kaden once more. As he stabbed Masamune in Neji's shoulder, Naruto smirked and said, that is enough. The Hyuga let out a cry of agony, and the Jinchuriki retorted, get ready to receive your present. Naruto launched the haughty Hyuga into the air and proceeded to stab him in a number of non-essential areas. As the sword pierced his body, Neji let out a painful scream. Now for the bone-crushing, Omnilash version 7. In addition to releasing all of his swords, Naruto still held Masamune in his hand as he swung his sword around, enveloping it in a golden light before throwing it. After 20.6 strikes, Neji collapsed to the ground, his clothes soaked with his own blood, while Naruto landed on the ground surrounded by the swords and grabbed Vigilante in his right hand, saying, you are lucky that I spared your life, next time, you will not be lucky. Naruto, that's, Neji cried out in agony as he struggled to escape, but Naruto stabbed him in the leg, causing him to wince in pain. Jinchuriki removed Neji's headband to reveal the caged bird seal, saying, don't worry, I am not going to kill him, the reason that I spared him was because Hinata would not want to have bloodshed on her hands. Neji, I already know about this seal. You do realize that if Hinata had been cruel enough, she would have used this against you in order to get you to submit, don't you? It is cruel of the Hyuga clan to punish their own family because of differing beliefs. Why is that? Does it have to do with her weakness? No. The reason she attacks Hanabi is because she is unable to harm her own family. Hanabi's eyes widened slightly as Naruto went on. All she wanted from you was respect, but you took it and crushed it like it was trash, ridiculing her with your ideals of fate and, as for your father, he was a brave man to die for his village and his family. My dad was killed. No, your father was given a power that many people have, the ability to make a decision for the first time in their lives. He could have chosen to protect his family, especially you and his brother, or he could have refused and allowed Kumo to have the Byakugan during the high likelihood of war. For once, no one had the authority to tell him what he could or could not do. In all honesty, your father's choice to battle the Kyuubi was similar to that of the Yondaime, so quit moping in grief and your foolishness with fate because, after all, even a caged bird eventually finds freedom. After removing Masamune from Neji's leg, Naruto said, Kira. The Hyuga recovered quickly from his severe wounds and stood up as Genma declared, winner. Naruto Uzumaki. The swordsman calmly went to the stands, and Genma yelled, will Sabaku no Gaara and Sasuke Uchiha please come down to the arena? Where is Uchiha Sasuke, Rado? Sarutobi asked, turning to face his bodyguard. That is just it, we still have no word of Uchiha Sasuke or Hitaki Kakashi. What is Kakashi doing exactly? The Hokage asked, tipping his hat. Sarutobi muttered, it looks like I have no choice but to disqualify Sasuke Uchiha, as the crowd soon started to grow agitated. Hokage. Dono, if I may speak, please allow Sasuke Uchiha more time. This is odd of you, Kazekage. Dono, the son of the Kazekage versus the last heir of the Uchiha clan should be an exciting battle. Many people, including myself, came here to witness the fight as well as the Heartless Angels. The Hokage paused for a moment to reflect before responding. Okay, we will push the MTACH back then. Rado abruptly scattered across the area, followed by a woman with a russet red hair wearing a blue dress, a young man with a sharpened tooth visible outside the right corner of his mouth, and an older man wearing an eye patch and seal tags for earrings. Hello, Mizukage. Dono, welcome to Konoha, I was not aware that you were coming. The woman laughed. I prefer to make surprise entrances. I am most intrigued that one of your rookie genin was able to kill Zabuza Momochi. I heard that he would be competing in the finals from my own genin that were unable to pass the second phase, so I decided to see him in action myself and possibly ask for the whereabouts of his Kabikirabocho. And your name is? The Kazekage replied, and the woman replied, oh, forgive me. My name is Mei Terumi. The boy besides me is Chojuro, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, and the man on my left is Ao. The Kazekage thought, this could pose a problem. I hardly know anything about this Mei Terumi. I will have to wait for a while to alter the pain. Hiruzen responded, okay, Mei. Dono, please have a seat. Mei took a seat next to the cage. Genma continued, due to one of the participants not being here, this match is postponed. Will Konkuro and Aburame Shino please come down? Konkuro pondered. Shit. I can't reveal Karasu's hidden secrets and this match is utterly trivial. Genma let out a TCH sound before the boy responded. I forfeit. And then, winner by forfeit, Shino Aburame. Looks like he is possibly part of Orochimaru's plan, maybe the whole village is involved. He would not be the type to not crush his opponent. Naruto reflected. Genma yelled, will Shikamaru, Nara and Temari please come down? Shikamaru responded by falling over the railing thanks to Naruto's foot, while Temari pulled out her fan and used the current to float down. Sorry, Shikamaru, but I need more time to figure this out, your fight should be able to give me since you are so lazy. Temari said, Oi, pineapple head, get off your lazy ass and fight. Shikamaru thought, note to self. When Naruto eat with us again, make him pay the bill. How the hell do I always get paired against girls, especially girls with impatience and anger issues? Shikamaru replied. If you won't come, then I will. Temari yelled at him. Hey, the match hasn't started, exclaimed Genma. The indolent boy swiftly removed 2 kunai and embedded them in the wall behind him, but Temari ignored him and slammed the iron fan onto Shikamaru. She looked up and saw Shikamaru standing on top of the kunai with his hands in his pockets. You know, he said, grinning, I don't care about being Chunin and I hate to fight, but I can't stand losing to a woman. With a sly smile, Temari blew a wind strike at him while opening her fan. Temari thought, well, he's great at running. As smoke billowed, she glanced into the corner of her eye. Okay, he is a ninja that uses shadows and probably trying to lure me into the trees. I will fall for that. The lazy Shikamaru thought, oh man, those clouds are lucky, so free. I really don't feel like doing this. I just became a ninja so I wouldn't be bothering, but I suppose, that things are not that simple. What the hell? Is he mocking me with that smile of his? Temari asked herself. The wind blew hard in the arena as she yelled, Ninpo. Kamaitachi no Jutsu. While swinging her fan. Tenten was thinking, that move was the one that knocked Kiba out cold. Shikamaru has his hands full. A line of shadow suddenly materialized, speeding toward Temari, who hurried back until the shadow began to fade. Hey, there's a limit to how much you can shrink, stretch or change your shadow, isn't there? You can't stretch it any further than your normal shadow's surface area no matter how you change it. Laughing, Shikamaru said, that's right. Temari then shut down her fan and measured the distance, 15 meters and 32 centimeters. He can use other shadows, but he can't control them, so he is using the shaded area to increase his length. But unfortunately no matter if he goes to the edge, the length will be the same. Konkuro replied, Temari is better at long range fighting, this match is over. Shikamaru lowered himself into his contemplative position. According to Asuma, even thought his grades were as bad as Naruto. He often said that he was too lazy to pick up his pencil to write, but he loves to play shogi a lot. Whenever he gets in a tight spot, he assumes that pose. His sensei Asuma gave him an IQ test in shogi form and found out that his IQ is over 200. He is a freaking genius. So it looks like you are finally getting serious now. Ninpo. Kamaitachi, Temari remarked as Shikamaru ducked under the trees and removed his shirt. It is no use trying to hide. Stop running or give up. Temari ducked as 2 kunai were suddenly thrown, only to get caught in the path of another. A series of explosions sounded in front of and behind her as she used her fan to block it. He attached explosive tags. She was thinking, he is trying to distract me. Then Shikamaru's shadow appeared and began to move. Nice try, but your shadow can't pass this line. Wait, hold on. Ah, shit. Temari thought. The shadow did, in fact, cross the line, causing the wind user to leap backwards once more. I see, she said, you used those kunai as distractions to keep me occupied while the sun moves, giving me more leverage. This should be your limit now. Konkuro cried out, Temari, above you, while Shikamaru remained silent and stared at her. When she looked up, she saw a kunai fastened to the bottom of Shikamaru's shirt, which was used as a makeshift parachute. As she avoided the encroaching shadow, Temari swore, Sonova. Shikamaru proclaimed, you will not escape. Temari was thinking as she moved, impressive, using the kunai to distract me from his shadow and then using his shadow to distract me from looking up and noticing the parachute. But it's clear to me now. I need to finish this quickly. His shadow will move farther as the sun moves, so I will use Bunshin no Jutsu, which will draw his attention to it. Then I will jump out and use all my chakra into the strongest possible Kamaitachi to rip him apart. Temari thought, initiating attack. Bunshin no, as the shadow paused and slowly moved away. W. What? I'm frozen, she thought as she suddenly froze. With his hands spread wide, Shikamaru exclaimed, finally, Kagemain no Jutsu success. Tamari responded, B. But your shadow was nowhere near me, how did you get me? According to Shikamaru, I let you look behind you. He turned his head, and Tamari, who was enchanted by his jutsu, followed suit. When Tamari noticed a hole behind her and realized that his shadow was indeed joining hers, her eyes widened. When you used the Kamaitachi jutsu, you loosed some of the gravel in where Neji was at. Thus I used those kunai wrapped with an explosive tag with a little extra kick, making a hole in front and the back of you. The two made a tunnel and then I lured you over to this spot with all of those distractions and failed successions like my little puppet. Checkmate, said Shikamaru as Tamari clenched her teeth. Wait for it, said Naruto. Go, Ino yelled. Shikamaru and Tamari approached each other while Choji munched frantically. They both raised their hands when the shadow wielder declared, that's it, I quit. Huh? Ino asked. Shikamaru replied, those failed successions used up my chakra. I had thought up over 200 moves and I'm getting tired of this. One match is enough for me. Plus I can only hold you for about 5 more minutes. Winner. Sabaku no Tamari, exclaimed Genma. Tamari turned to face Shikamaru as his shadow returned to him. With the genin dressed in new clothes, there was a sudden whirl of leaves in the arena, and soon it was revealed that they were Kakashi Hitaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Back. Kakashi said, Ma, are we late? Sasuke looked up to gaze at Gaara for a moment before saying, Gaara, Genma said, you are lucky, Hokage. Sama was lenient enough to move your match back. Naruto joined him, saying, he will be a challenge, Sasuke. Make sure that you stay focused. Sasuke laughed. Never thought you cared, Naruto, but just don't lose to anyone yet. I want to test myself against a master of the sword. Right, see you in the final match. As soon as Gaara descended the stairs and Genma exclaimed, now Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara. Hajime. Gaara's gourd started to spew out sand, and Naruto vanished to emerge in the stands. With a slight jump, Sasuke thought, so this is the sand that Kakashi mentioned. Gaara suddenly grabbed his head and yelled, don't get so angry, mother. What the hell is he talking about? Asked Sasuke. I know I fed you some bad blood, Gaara said, continuing his demon monologue, but I promise that this time, it will be delicious. Sensei? That mark on Sasuke's neck, is it? Inquired Sakura. Says Kakashi. Don't worry. Sakura turned to watch the match after grinning at Kakashi. Come, said Gaara. All right, you ask for it, Sasuke said. With haste, he pulled out 2 shuriken and hurled them at Gaara. While performing a Suna Bunshin, the shuriken was caught by the Suna Jinchuriki's unwavering defense. Although Sasuke took his time charging at Gaara, the Suna Bunshin's torso rushed forward to confront the Uchiha. The Suna Bunshin flung his own shuriken at Sasuke as he leapt forward in midair. The Uchiha kicked at the Suna Bunshin's crossed arms and was compelled to return the shuriken. Sasuke slammed his wrist into Suna Bunshin's neck and slammed his palms on the ground to get himself upright as the arms blasted off. As the sand trickled over the Uchiha's wrist, the stunned clone began to grin. The Suna Bunshin's head was blasted into dust by the Uchiha's swift palm strike. Another wall was put up to stop Sasuke's attack as he hurried through to reach Gaara. But Sasuke grinned and Lee's eyes widened in shock. Fast, just like him. Sasuke drew his fist back and slugged Gaara in the face, cracking his Suna Yoroi and sending the insane boy to the ground. Gaara's eyes followed suit as Sasuke appeared abruptly behind him. Guy thought, he is just as fast as Lee's starting speed and his taijutsu, Lee concluded, as the same as mine. Guy was shocked. Naruto pondered, so Sensei had to use Lee's speed to get past Gaara. No doubt he had to use the Sharingan to visualize Lee's speed. So that is your armor, come on, I will rip it off. Sasuke sped through Gaara, but the sand tried to stop him from the front. He veered behind him and twisted through the sand to kick Gaara away. This was his first move into the Goken stance. What's wrong, is that it? Taunted Sasuke. Sasuke circled Gaara, stepped inside his guard, and kicked Gaara in the chin before grabbing his shirt and bringing him closer to his persona to knee him in the chest. Sasuke, you are a genius beyond imagination. It took me years to reach that speed, but just in only a month, you were able to reach it. Looking at Sasuke, who was panting with effort, Lee pondered, but to keep up at that kind of movement requires a lot of strength. Kankuro was thinking, what are you going to do, Gaara? The Suna no Yoroi uses a lot of chakra, you know you can't use for long. Guy responded, "What kind of training did you put him through?" Replied, "Sasuke had Lee's taijutsu before, so that is why I had trained him in Lee's taijutsu as well. Since he knew Lee and seen his taijutsu in action, he was able to master the style. It was hard work. But just with my taijutsu, it is not enough," Lee reflected. Guy pondered, "Kakashi, what are you up to? You saw the battle between Lee and Gaara, so you should know that taijutsu will not be enough to defeat him, so why did you have Sasuke focus on taijutsu?" The Uchiha rushed forward to stop Gaara as soon as his sand began to encircle him. The sand globe grew spikes to stop Sasuke's attack, and when he punched the sand, his fist suffered from bleeding. The Uchiha's right leg was gashed, and his cheek was cut. Using all of that sand to protect himself, that it gets so hard when it packed like that, so this is an absolute defense. He fell back as warm blood ran down his leg. A third eye soon materialized, hovering over the side of the sand globe as Gaara sat down and focused while reciting a mantra. This is bad, Tamari thought, because Gaara intends to use that jutsu. As he wiped the blood from his cheek, Sasuke's expression changed from one of shock to a grin. The Uchiha advanced and kicked the shell, which bounced back. As I thought, it is no good trying to use taijutsu against it, since I can't see what he is up to, since he is hiding in there. It is a perfect opportunity to test out my new jutsu, since it takes a lot of time too. After releasing a button from the black spiral device on his arm, Sasuke leapt onto the balcony and adhered to the wall using chakra. Guy's eyes widened as he knelt down and said, "So that is why you did that?" "Huh?" Sakura asked. Kakashi stated, "I had Sasuke focus on taijutsu and speed since the ninjutsu that he is about to use requires a lot of speed." Says Guy. "You didn't, according to Kakashi, I did." Guy responded, "It is Kakashi's original jutsu, the Reikiri. He used it on me once, but this kid was able to block with that arm of his." The Haruno asked, "What jutsu is that?" Ino covered her ears and said, "I have no idea, but it is loud much like screeching birds." Sasuke charged down towards Gaara's small sand globe, and Naruto thought, "I just hope he changes out of that attitude, or I seriously have to kick his ass." "It is incredible, you can see the chakra in his hand," Ino was thinking. "Yes, I am going to tear off his head and then crack it open so the brain can spill out. Oh, the head. Then tons of blood will flow out. You can have it all, mother." "Kyahahaha, aren't I such a good boy? Mother, I am always a good boy. Yeah, let's do it. Mother, I will be watching," Gaara was saying to himself inside the sand globe. Moaning, Guy said, "A simple stab." "What?" Haku asked. Guy clarified, "It's a technique created solely for assassination. The speed of the stab and the large amount of chakra concentrated to create the heightened flesh combined makes the sound of chirping birds." Sakura responded, "So if it is not called the Reikiri, then what is it?" As soon as Guy finished speaking, Sasuke broke through Gaara's defense. "The jutsu is called Chidori." "No way, Gaara's defense has been breached?" asked Kankuro. "According to Tamari, that is impossible," Guy stated, "since the speed of the user and the amount of concentrated chakra focused in one arm, then it becomes like a sword. If any other user were able to use this, they would have experienced tunnel vision. But the Sharingan helps this matter, which is why only Sasuke is able to use this jutsu to its full potential." Lee reflected, "I see, I wouldn't be able to run at that speed straight at my opponent, because it is easier to make a counterattack and I don't possess the Sharingan to see the counter. I'm jealous of you, Sasuke. My sense of superiority came when I defeated you since your body couldn't keep up with my speed, but now you have that speed including the Sharingan." Said Sasuke, "I got you now, Sabaku no Gaara. What is this warm stuff? Mother, what did, UWAAAA? It's my blood. My blood?" Gaara inquired inside the globe. Ishide and the Jonin instantly realized that Gaara had changed somewhat for the worse when they felt a chill go up their spines. Gaara screamed once more as Sasuke pulled his arm back, revealing an odd-looking arm with blue veins running across it. Sasuke felt something crushing his arm and had to use the Chidori to free himself. As Kankuro thought, "There is no mistake, it's his arm," he became terrified. "What is that?" Guy inquired. "Did he attain his complete form?" Kankuro whispered. Sasuke looked inside the hole and gasped when he saw an eye glaring at him. It was amber with an inverted four-pointed star with 4 dots in a square. "Like fashion." Tamari whispered back, "I don't know, it looks like Uchiha wounded him. This has never happened before. I am getting chills just from the memories from the first time I saw it. I couldn't eat for weeks after seeing that thing." Kankuro was filled with dread. "What's this feeling?" Genma asked as his body began to tremble. The sphere then began to shatter, revealing Gaara gripping his right shoulder. I knew it. The cocoon was broken before he could transform fully. Temari thought. She must mean to transform into Shukaku, Naruto thought. The Uchiha pulled out the Kusanagi and yelled, Chidori blade. He sent his lightning chakra in the blade and stabbed Gaara in the injured shoulder before kicking him away. Sasuke thought, no, it wasn't those eyes. What was that thing that was looking at me earlier? Whatever it is, I better finish this. The lightning chakra paralyzed Gaara, causing him to twitch and fall to the ground. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha. Jiraiya and Sasuke stepped aside from the trembling Gaara, who was taken by the Konoha medics. That was an interesting match. The Uchiha showed some impressive skill. Gaara as well, but he seems a bit unstable. In his Cage persona, Orochimaru stated, he is a bit. I deduced that Gaara was reminded of some tragic things in his early life through Sasuke Uchiha. However, his thoughts were different, saying, I was lucky that I didn't give the signal yet. It would be quite difficult to deal with two cages at once, especially one I don't know. Now the next match will be Naruto Uzumaki and Shino Aburame. Will both contestants please come down? Genma went on. The proctor said, begin. And both of them descended to the arena, facing one another. Shino expelled his bugs, and Naruto assumed his fighting stance. The Jinchurikis blew. Green eyes turned red as an orange chakra engulfed his body, and the Aburame gave him a mental command to attack his bugs. Naruto simply stood there and allowed the bugs to attack him. Only the bugs were burned when they came into contact with the chakra. What? Shino responded, what is that chakra and why do my bugs don't want to go near him? Naruto responded, it is a certain chakra I have inside me. It is highly corrosive to everything except me. Shino replied, I see, then I am forfeiting this match, even if I manage to win. I believe that I will not be able to beat neither Sasuke-san with his Kaden or Temari with her futon. Genma laughed out loud. Smart kid, Uzumaki does have an ability to fire attacks as well as Sasuke while Temari would just blow and shred his Kakaichu, but I never knew that Uzumaki was able to control and harness the Kyuubi's chakra that's stable. Definitely Chunin material along with Shikamaru and Shino. Winner by forfeit. Naruto Uzumaki. Now will Sasuke Uchiha and Temari please come down? Both of them fell and Sasuke reflected, I have a feeling that she won't let me use my fire jutsu since her futon will augment it and she is better at long range, making it hard to approach her directly. It looks like that I am going to have to use genjutsu. I hate using genjutsu, reminds me too much of Itachi. Begin. Ninpo. Kamaitachi no jutsu. Temari swung her fan, and the Uchiha rolled away as he activated his Sharingan, forcing him to dodge once more. Temari blocked the kunai he threw at her with her fan. Now is my chance. Kaden. Gukakyu. Temari jumped away as the fireball was hurled from his mouth toward her, but Sasuke appeared behind her to knock her down. She got up, but Sasuke kicked her, causing her to skid away. Futon. Kirakiri no Mai. The Uchiha was knocked off his feet when she swung her fan in a broad arc. In order to maintain his level, he swiftly unlocked the Kusanagi and stabbed it into the ground. Sasuke let out, TCH, you were pretty good. In response, Temari yelled, you aren't bad yourself. Then she reflected, his Kaden makes it difficult to use my jutsu, plus he got a sword that secrets poison and can extend. On top of that, we are needed in the operation and I can't deal with Konoha ninja at half strength. Replied, give up, you can't win this fight. Your jutsu augments mine, I have more speed than you and I could kill you with this sword. You are right, Uchiha, but those factors are not going to make me forfeit. I see. Then I should tell you something, Sasuke said. What is that? Sasuke grinned and said, this is not the real me, before vanishing into the wind and Temari turning around to be struck in the solar plexus, which rendered her unconscious. Kankuro naturally followed the medics as they removed Temari, and Genma declared, now the final match, Naruto Uzumaki vs Sasuke Uchiha. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha. The audience erupted in cheers, with the majority of them supporting Sasuke. Don't hold back, Naruto, I want to see your true strength. Naruto pulled out Masamune and assumed his stance, saying, you got it, Sasuke. Oh, you may want to activate your Sharingan now. As Naruto, Sasuke wisely raised his defenses and said, let's see if Kakashi's training has brought you up to. In a massive battle, the Jinchuriki sailed quickly in the direction of the Uchiha. Naruto remarked, Kakashi gave you weight training for your speed, good, but how is your footwork? As Sasuke clenched his teeth at the force of the blow. Naruto retreated and engaged Sasuke in a fencing duel, but the Uchiha moved to a new position and parried and blocked the blows. Good, you are at least mid-Chunin. A surprising growth from you, must be in your blood. Naruto ducked the long blade to run at Sasuke after Sasuke said, "Thanks, now let's skip the formalities." However, the Uchiha was able to retract the length of the Kusanagi to its original form, preventing Naruto's one-handed slash. As they engaged in a fierce battle, both of them grinned at one another. Sasuke's Sharingan allowed him to mimic Naruto's moves, and his body was able to keep up by replicating Lee's speed, but gradually the Uchiha began to whine in exhaustion. The Uchiha was under pressure and thought, if only I could scratch him just once, I could win this match, but he is superior in a Kenjutsu battle, so I am at a disadvantage. Orochimaru thought, damn that Namikaze, this little farce has gone long enough. Ninpo. Nihon Shouja no Jutsu was the hand signal that Kabuto, posing as an Anbu member, made after Snake Sanin made a discreet one. Soon after, everyone in the stands saw feathers fall from the sky, and some of the genin and civilians fell asleep. It begins, what begins? Inquired Sasuke. Genma leapt down next to them and said, Orochimaru's invasion. He has Suna helping him to destroy Konoha and retrieve you. Okay, you two, I need your help. They both said, got it. Taking hold of his sword's hilt, Naruto entered the arena, split up 3 auto ninja, and marched to the 4 barrier walls, where Anbu and auto ninja blocked his way. Move, I have business with your leader. With his men at his sides, the Anbu said, I am sure that you could consult your business with us, Naruto.kun. Stopga, he eliminated the auto ninja in less than 6 seconds and repeated, my business is not with you, Kabuto, but it seems that I will have to deal with you first. As he removed the borrowed mask, Kabuto laughed and said, so you knew, pray tell why is it you ask of Orochimaru, Sama? His head on a platter for a death of a ninja that he ordered to kill. You mean Hayate-san? Before Kabuto could react, Naruto's crimson-red eyes narrowed and he approached him. It was you, wasn't it? Naruto asked. In a fit of wrath, Naruto proclaimed, you will die first, followed by your company conspirator and finally, your so-called master. As Kabuto watched Naruto's black wing burst from his back, he was taken aback by the power within him. The Jonin level genin was literally thrown toward the building where the barrier was located after Naruto grabbed him by the face. Flashback. 5 minutes ago, Sarutobi turned to face the Case Cage, who concealed their vision with a smoke bomb. Sarutobi leapt into the air, confronting the exposed Orochimaru, while Mei's bodyguards immediately sprang into action, defending their Mizukage. Shojiro turned to Mei and said, what do we do, Mizukage? Sama. The woman with the russet-red hair briefly closed her eyes and then opened them as she said, we helped them and this would only fortify our claim from an alliance with Konoha. Orochimaru, here. Ao yelled. It looks like an invasion. A purple, rectangular barrier was set up, and as the 3 Kiri ninjas leapt to the roof, they saw 4 auto ninjas on each corner. They all yelled, Ninpo. Shishirenjin, one of the Anbu caught fire as he collided with the barrier. When the 6 of them suddenly shifted to dodge a human bullet that struck the roof's edge, they looked up to see Naruto in an angelic glory, his black wing out and his eyes crimson red. Damn it, that barrier is awfully strong. Ao thought, we won't be able to help the Hokage out. Naruto stated icily, if someone is going to die today, it might as well be you, Kabuto. Chakra Mesu, Kabuto said as he stood up, and the boy with the spectacles lunged at him, but Naruto vanished in a burst of dark blue light. Looking around, Kabuto felt a slash on his midsection and gasped. After displacing Masamune to slightly extend his gloves and move into Tifa's stance, Naruto emerged in front of Kabuto. As he ran toward the Jinchuriki, Kabuto said, you should have kept your sword with you, Naruto.kun. I should let you know that I was holding back during the exams. I am actually on par with your sensei, Kakashi Hitaki. The Mako. Enhanced boy dodged one blow and grabbed Kabuto's other one by the wrist, saying, I know, but with my sword, I could instantly kill you, but I don't want that. Instead for killing Hayate, I am going to use my hands to beat you in the ground and make you suffer, plus I do need the practice and you are the perfect dummy. After delivering a knee to Kabuto's stomach, Naruto struck him in the face with an uppercut elbow, causing his glasses to fall off. Slowly approaching him, Naruto stepped on Hayate's killer's glasses, causing Kabuto to stand up until Naruto kicked him in the chest, then backhanded him across the face before using a beat rush combo on his treacherous ass. Come on. Get up, so I can show the true present of despair. Naruto's eyes widened a little as he saw the right-handed man's wounds automatically healed, and Kabuto grinned. You didn't think that it was going to be that easy, did you? With a frown on his face, Naruto stated, so after I plunge you in despair, I will be taking your head, plain and simple. Sasuke. The Uchiha left to locate Kakashi, who was currently defending Sakura. He approached them and, While he was concentrating on them, he discovered someone attempting to murder Kakashi on his blind side. Sasuke took hold of the Kusanagi and pierced the opposing ninja's kidney with a backstab. Sakura exclaimed, "Sasuke-kun. Where is Naruto?" "On the roof. He is fighting against Kabuto, and you really don't want to go there right now. I have never seen Naruto that pissed before and I don't want to know how sadistic he can be. Kabuto is a traitor." "No way, but why is Naruto pissed?" According to Kakashi, a few nights after the prelims were finished, the proctor, Hayate, was killed. When the autopsy was done, it was said that his cause of death was that his heart was severed, but there was a second strike as well with a wind jutsu. Kabuto was probably the one did the first strike and Asuna Ninja was the one who made the second. Despite his healing trick, Kabuto was getting the shit kicked out of him. Every move he made against Naruto, he would completely avoid it. Sasuke said, "So Asuna Ninja helped. I hope for his or her sake, Naruto doesn't find him or her because he or she will be in a world of hurt after he is through." Hell, Kabuto was so enraged by the bastards mocking of him by fighting without hands that his old blood was oozing out. "Why don't you die?" His black wing unfurled from his back, and Masamune reappeared in his hand. "Because I refuse to. You chose the wrong person to fuck with. Unlike you, I care about my friends and when you hurt one, you get to deal with me." Kabuto attempted to leap away, but Naruto approached and stabbed him in the heart before chopping off his head. "Now you will die, Kabuto Yakushi. You were charged with treason, espionage, and the murder of Gekko Hayate. As your judge, jury, and executioner, I sentence you to death." Fira, after Kabuto's body was consumed by flames, he turned to face the three-headed snake and removed an orb to pierce his arm. The Jinchuriki held up a circular symbol in the air as it started to glow. Everyone turned to watch a dragon, named Bahamut, the king of dragons, appear in the sky as the sky abruptly darkened and roared loudly, "Who summons me?" "I summon you, mighty Bahamut. I humbly request for you to aid in this battle against that snake." "What is your name?" "Naruto Namikaze." "Very well, I shall aid you in your request. Feel free to summon me again." The Dragon King flew into the three-headed snake after Naruto leapt on Bahamut's shoulder. The heads of the snakes hissed at their new foe. Bahamut was struck by one of the heads, but the dragon deflected the blow with a swipe of its claws. Then, while he was distracted, the middle and right ones attacked him. Thunder! The right head was struck by a bolt, and Bahamut grabbed the middle one and used its mouth to tear it off. Bahamut yelled, "Multiflare!" as he spat out tiny balls of blue fire that struck the new two-headed snake. As he swapped out Masamune for Vigilante, Naruto yelled, "Blade Beam!" and unleashed a blue crescent beam at the stunned two-headed snake. "Braver!" Naruto yelled as he leapt into the air, and the snakes hissed in agony as the blast struck them squarely in the middle. When he landed in an arc, the snakes froze for a moment before splitting into two pieces and vanishing in a cloud of smoke. In a flash, Bahamut vanished, and the materials in Naruto's arm dimmed back. "Well, not bad, Naruto. It will be good to work with you again, but to gain the other summons to aid you. You must fight to gain respect in their eyes. Farewell," Bahamut said. A lone Konoha ninja exclaimed, "The enemy is retreating." As they applauded, "Hayate," Naruto thought, hefting Vigilante over his shoulder, "I have avenged your death and I promise that I will keep your lover safe from harm." His black and white wings both emerged as he strode away from the devastation. While perched atop the first Hokage's head, Naruto surveyed the village, taking in all of the destroyed areas and the ninjas and civilians collaborating to rebuild it. It was minuscule in comparison to the Kyuubi attack on the day of his birth. The Jinchuriki sighed, "Well, when it comes to these kinds of situations, the silence doesn't last very long." He sat down with one foot hanging over the face of Hashirama Senju and thought, "I wonder what is going to happen next." Cloud answered, "What are you talking about, Naruto?" Naruto muttered, "See what I mean?" as a meteor suddenly crashed into the forest behind the Hokage monument. He then jumped off Hashirama's head and followed the trail of broken trees and uprooted dirt to locate the source of the disturbance. "What is that?" A black-haired woman with a red ribbon tied to her arm emerged from the crater as soon as Naruto called first Tsurugi out in battle mode in his typical stance, and the smoke soon showed the silhouette of a person. She had on black leather gloves, a white shirt underneath a black zip-up vest, and black shorts that folded at the waist to create a short duster at the back that reached her heels and another utility pocket at the front. "What is she doing here? How did she get here?" Cloud exclaimed, gasping. "Tifa." Tifa emerged from the hole, glanced up at Naruto, and yelled, "Cloud." Sephiroth calmly remarked, "Looks like your friends are still looking for you. You truly have some great friends, Cloud." The former soldier nodded silently, and Naruto relaxed as he heard the conversation going on inside his head. Tifa.san. I am not your friend, Cloud Strife. I am Naruto Uzumaki. Welcome to my world. What did you do to him? Where is Cloud? Tifa interrupted, aiming a punch at Naruto's head. If you would let me explain just for a minute, then I can. Naruto ducked and flipped backwards, skidding backwards into a tree. The Jinchuriki raised his arms to block the blow, which sent him to one knee and created a crater. Tifa appeared out of nowhere and descended with an axe kick to the head. Naruto felt some of the bones in his arm were slightly fractured, and he gritted his teeth in agony. Damn, she is strong. The sullen blonde swordsman nodded silently as he watched Naruto battle Tifa in pay-per-view. Looks like she hasn't lost her touch at all, Cloud, Sephiroth remarked. Good thing you taught him her fighting style, or else he would be hard-pressed against her. When Tifa's fist sank into the bark, Naruto cocked his head to the side and said, "This would be easier for us to talk than fight." Tifa said, "Sorry, I am not much in a talking mood right now." Beat Rush. As she charged directly at the boy, Naruto's eyes widened, but he deflected every blow she threw at him. Tifa was a little taken aback. How do you know my moves?" she asked. Meteor Strike. Naruto sighed as he stepped into her defense. After sweeping her off her feet and grabbing her leg, the Jinchuriki threw her up in the air, grabbed her shirt, and sent her back down into the ground. She then spun around, using the trees as a barrier to deal more damage. "Are we done?" Tifa asked. "How did you know that style?" as she gaped at Naruto. "Your friend, Cloud. He was my teacher as well as an acquaintance of yours." "Acquaintance? That is correct. On the day of my birth, at the same time Cloud and Sephiroth clashed, they caused a time warp that flung them into this dimension," Naruto replied, nodding. "Unfortunately, at that time, our current leader of my village, the Yondaime, was forced to seal a demon inside of me. And Cloud and Sephiroth were sealed as well." The boys silently called forth Masamune, and Tifa glared at the sword. "Sephiroth. Can you unseal them?" the brunette asked, casting a sorrowful glance at the Jinchuriki. "Sadly, I cannot. If I unseal them, I would die, and I kinda like to breathe oxygen. I am sorry for you to travel so far to learn this, but since it is possible for you to come to this dimension, perhaps there is something on your side that could help me get Cloud, Sephiroth and my other tenant out of my body with their own bodies." The swordsman sighed and pinched his nose bridge, saying, "Then I guess you are stuck with me until I figure out a way to contact them. Come along now." Tifa scratched her head. "Well, actually, I just sort of ushered on through the portal, so I have no idea how to contact my world or anything." The two were suddenly encircled by some enigmatic Anbu members, who Naruto had observed were using tipless tantos rather than their customary katanas. Tifa asked, casting a sidelong glance at Naruto, "Friends of yours?" "No, I have never seen these guys before. Usually these guys have katana swords instead of tantos, meaning that these guys follow someone else's orders," calmly answered Naruto. "Am I correct, fellas?" The Anbu didn't say anything, but one of them said, "Stand down, Uzumaki.san. That woman needs to come with us for questioning." The Uzumaki replied, "Then perhaps you should try a different approach. I know you don't work for the Hokage at all, so the answer to that request will be no. Attack." With a sly smile, Naruto called forth Masamune and said, "Let's dance." Tifa nodded, and the two leapt apart to attack a faction of the enigmatic Anbu group. With a chilly, emotionless expression, he sailed over to his group and said, "Octaslash." The ANBU's heads either rolled off their shoulders or fell to the ground on their knees with a deep gash on their chests as the trained soldier emerged behind the group. After avoiding the slashes of two Anbu and kicking them away, Naruto heard a Gukakyu approaching. "HMPH, useless," he said, piercing it with a beam of energy. "Enough," came a voice. The Anbu group leader said, "You have won this one, Uzumaki, but we will be back. The roots are the ones that sustain the tree of life." Naruto and Tifa turned to see the Hokage and a number of ninjas approaching them, and they vanished into the darkness as the Hokage did. "Naruto, what happened here? A misunderstanding. This woman here mistaken me for someone else, and then we were attacked by some weird Anbu faction. They were different. They had no emotions and their weapons of choice were tantos instead of katanas like I usually see." "Root," the Hokage snarled. "So that is what he meant. The roots sustain the life of the tree. Root is functioning to sustain Konoha." Hiruzen gave Naruto a serious look. "Naruto, I need you to listen carefully. If Root contacts or tries to attack you, I need you to notify me in some way or run. They are highly trained and dangerous." The Jinchuriki continued, "Not to sound rude, but I did give a beating to your former student, Orochimaru. I think I can handle myself, but I will acquiesce to your request, Hokage. G.San." Thank you. Now I need you to go on a mission with Jiraiya. At the invasion, I realized that I can't keep the mantle of Hokage now as I am too old and weak. I need a replacement, and although Jiraiya would be a good candidate for the job, he is not a person that would like to tie down to a desk, so the better one would be my other student. Tsunade Senju, the Slug Sennin. Yes, correct. Not only is she royalty and related to the Shodai Hokage, she is also very strong and capable of holding her own in politics, but it will take some convincing or force to bring her back to this place since it brings up some unpleasant memories. You mean the fact that her brother Nawaki as well as her lover, Dan Kato, were killed during the Second Shinobi World War? Yes. How do you know of all this? Jiraiya told me stories about her and I found both of them next to each other in the graveyard, deducing that they were close, and I went to the library to find out that Tsunade had a younger brother, who was Nawaki. I just guessed that Dan was a close friend or lover. Then I best get packing if we need to bring her back here. The enlightened Hokage nodded. See to it that you bring her back successfully. Orochimaru will be on the move for her as well to recruit her to his side, and he does have a knack for converting people to that side, much like you, Naruto. Right, Tifa, let's go. Afterwards, two figures with straw hats and paper streamers on the side appeared on top of the wall. Their cloaks were black with red clouds and had high collars. The shorter one was silent and had black hair, but you couldn't see his face. The tall one had odd blue skin and a shark-like face. The tall, shark-man informed his partner, "Well, it seemed that it is still untouched. Are you feeling nostalgic?" The shorter one said, "No, I don't feel nostalgic at all." He raised his gaze to see Konoha in full view, and a mature Sharingan was visible in his eyes. Orochimaru. The Snake Sennin was so furious that he destroyed everything that was visible inside one of his many secret bases. I can't believe this. My plan ruined by one brat. He made me lose Gaara and my summons, even Kabuto. Well, it is nice to see that I am appreciated for my talents, Orochimaru-sama. Orochimaru turned and saw Kabuto smiling and alive. Kabuto, you're alive. But how? Orochimaru said. Shakan no Jutsu is very useful. Naruto-kun surprised me with his strength. I have underestimated his capabilities, but now, I will make sure that I will come on top when we meet again. Despite him disrupting our plans, we did manage to have Sasuke Uchiha afflicted with your cursed seal of heaven. What is your next move? Orochimaru replied with a slight smirk. Simple. We need a strong person on our side to help take care of our Uzumaki problem, and what better way to take care of an Uzumaki by recruiting a family member to our cause? Perplexed, Kabuto responded. A family member? The Uzumaki clan was destroyed years ago. The family members were scattered across the land. So who are we recruiting that you know as a family member, Lord Orochimaru? According to Orochimaru, my old teammate Tsunade. After returning to Konoha, Naruto and Tifa entered his house and started packing his belongings. This is a nice village, pretty big too, the Jinchuriki responded. Yes, it is a nice home to live in, but like every home there is always some kind of corruption in it. Well, you might as well come with me on the trip to find our new Hokage. You will need to lay low for a while. We are not alone, Tifa, come on out, it is useless to hide when I can sense you too. Especially the sword that is practically filled with chakra now, the swordsman said, removing first Tsurugi in attack mode as Tifa nodded in agreement and followed Naruto to the gate. Tifa appeared perplexed, but she assumed her position when she noticed two figures wearing black and red, adorned clouds. Their skin and hair were tinted blue, and the taller of the two had beady eyes and blue hair. Like Zabuza, he was a missing ninja from Kirigakure, as evidenced by his headband and the large dado he carried on his back. The short one's face was recognizable to Naruto right away, and he had black hair and blackened fingernails. Itachi Uchiha and, I believe you are Kisame Hoshigaki, correct? Kisame laughed, so the brat actually does know our names. Well, who wouldn't? Itachi is the known murderer of the Uchiha clan in a single night, making him one of the most dangerous missing ninja from our village, and you, Kisame, abandoned your village for more challenges. So, what are a couple of S-class missing ninjas here in this village, following a Chunin level ninja for? An excellent question. We are here for you, Naruto-kun. We need your assistance in pursuing peace in the world. Peace in the world? What skills do I have that would help you with this idea of peace? Asked Naruto, raising an eyebrow. Not your skills, but a matter of what you hold, the Uchiha retorted. At that, the Heartless Angel's eyes narrowed. You do realize that using that power of mine cannot be controlled except by me. Kisame grinned, flashing his signature shark like teeth. That's because we're going to take it out of you, so you'll be contributing to a bigger cause. You are aware that I will die, aren't you? Yeah. Naruto calmly responded, well, I prefer to live, Thank you very much, so now if you will excuse me, we will be going now. He then attempted to maneuver around them until he eliminated first Tsurugi to stop Kisami's Samahata from striking. With a sigh, Naruto said, I guess we will be doing this the hard way. Then, he became serious and swung his blade and a blade beam at Kisame, sending him flying backward a few feet. Tifa assumed a stance, and Naruto cautioned his companion, saying, Tifa, the Uchiha has a bloodline called the Sharingan. It can copy any martial arts, illusions, and ninjutsu. It can also hypnotize people into doing what they want to do. So focus on his feet or his waist to fight him. Kisame flashed hand signals and exclaimed with a maniacal smile, Suiden. Suikoden no Jutsu. Tifa nodded and advanced on Itachi. The water shark was cut in half by Naruto's repeated blade beam, but he was taken aback when Kisame charged through with Samahata held high to crush him. Angel, bid your wings farewell. With a loud clang, the Jinchuriki shifted aside and swung at Samahata. The Uzumaki sensed it and said, Your sword absorbs chakra, am I right? Kisame smiled and said, Oh, you are aware of this sword? Of course I do. Actually I read up on the rest of the 7 swordsmen of the mist after I fought Zabuza. Your sword is Samahata, which is a sentient blade that absorbs chakra by contact as well as that it also acts like a shaver instead of a sword due to the scales. Very informed, but do you believe that will be beneficial to you? No, not really, not when I am actually just stalling to get help. It looks like we will not be able to capture Naruto at this time. He is aware of our organization, it seems. Itachi calmly responded, Very well, then Naruto-kun, you win this round, but we will return for you and the Kyuubi inside you. Asuma then descended from the sky to attack Kisame, and Kakashi and Kurenai threw kunai at Itachi, causing the Uchiha to retreat to Kisami's position. The angel responded sharply, his anger evident in his features. The Biju are not yours to conquer and use like toys. They have emotions as well. As to your organization, they better watch out or else I will kill them without remorse. The Jonin followed Itachi and Kisame until Itachi's eyes changed from the typical 3 comma marks to the 3-bladed shuriken, Amaterasu. Black fire appeared out of nowhere and covered the Akatsuki members' backs, ending the Konoha Jonin's pursuit. Asuma put his knuckle blades away and muttered, Damn it, they got away. Kakashi said, We will get them another time. More importantly, he turned to face Naruto and Tifa and asked, I would like to know who Naruto's companion is and how is he in contact with the Kyuubi. I have been in contact with the Biju sealed inside of me for several years now, Kakashi Sensei, and as for my companion, this is Tifa Lockhart. She was the one that taught me her fighting style and she is somewhat of a traveler. According to the White Fang's son, it is a pleasure to meet you, Tifa.san. The martial artist bowed to Kakashi and said, Likewise, Kakashi.san. Jiraiya soon followed Naruto and Tifa, saying, Well, it seems that you met the Akatsuki, a pleasant bunch, don't you think? The Jinchuriki looked at his diabolical godfather. Indeed, it looks like that they only come in pairs and their particular set of skills seems to subdue each Jinchuriki. Jiraiya replied, It makes sense. Kisami's sword can absorb any chakra, especially a Biju's, and the Uchiha clan's Sharingan can exhibit some type of control over the Kyuubi. The Sennin replied, It is exactly why we need to go now before they decide to come back to do the job. And bring your friend too, please. I think she would cause too much attention to the wrong people here in Konoha. Understood. Their motivations were all unclear, and the Jinchuriki would be at the center of the race between the 3 of them and Orochimaru's forces and the newcomers to the chess game, the Akatsuki, as they set out from the village in pursuit of the slug Sennin. So, Tifa, tell me how you got to know my apprentice here. I was a tour guide at a village when he came on a mission, and I took him and showed him around the place, although I don't know what he was looking at the ruins, Jiraiya asked inquisitively. Naruto looked at Tifa in response. After a moment of serious reflection, Jiraiya said, I feel no deceit from her words. Looks like I can trust her with my godson for a while, not to mention she is good material for my next novel. Naruto, noticing his thoughts, said, Kyofu, I highly suggest that you reconsider your perverted thoughts right now or else I will make you regret it after Tifa. Sensei has her way with tenderizing you up. As Tifa easily cracked her knuckles, Jiraiya swallowed and said, I'll be good. The Jinchuriki started to move toward the next town with Jiraiya and Tifa at his side after Naruto grinned and said, Nice decision, now let's keep going. Tsunade. Dono isn't going to get any younger if we are not making any progress here. When they arrived in a town, Jiraiya approached Naruto and said, Hey, Naruto, do you have any money on you? You are really stupid if you think I am going to give you my money when I know you are an author of an international smut series and a ninja under Konoha's command, the Jinchuriki says, raising an eyebrow. I am just trying to protect you from the ninja vices, Jiraiya objected. Tifa remarked in a deadpan manner, Sounds like you need more protection from these so-called vices more than Naruto does. Jiraiya-san. Naruto's eyes narrowed in rage as he turned to face a massive castle that was falling to the ground and a giant snake that appeared to be a makeshift shadow. Orochimaru, he is here. He must be after Tsunade as well. Jiraiya became serious and said, "We better move fast now, let's go." The three friends fled into the streets, dodging terrified bystanders. When they arrived at the location of the castle, which was now only rubble, Jiraiya exclaimed, "Damn it, it looks like we just missed the both of them." Jiraiya responded, "That would be Tsunade's work. Her second greatest strength is her taijutsu and her amazing chakra control." Tifa looked at a nearby wall and said, "Look at this. Whoever this Tsunade or Orochimaru person is, they must have amazing strength to be able to punch through this wall into rubble like that. She can crush her enemies by using that control to push her chakra and release it into a single point. Even a single flick from her could send you flying." Tifa was beaming. "Sounds like a woman I would like to meet in person. And after we locate her once more, you will have that opportunity. This at least indicates that we are close, but Orochimaru is also pursuing her, and his plans for her are not at all admirable. It shouldn't be that difficult to find a senin like that with her gambling luck at all," Tifa said with a frustrated sigh later in the evening. "We have been looking all day and we have found her at all. This isn't good at all." Jiraiya, surprised and shocked, Tifa said, "Oh, you have got to be kidding me." Jiraiya exclaimed, "Tsunade, we finally found you." Naruto and Tifa turned to see a brunette woman holding a small clothed pig, and a buxom blonde with a small blue diamond in the center of her forehead. Tsunade asked, "Why are you looking for me as well?" as Jiraiya's group joined her and her friends. "So we were right, Orochimaru did contact you," Naruto said matter of factly. The slug senin turned to face them and said, "First of all, who are these two brats?" "This is Naruto Uzumaki and his friend and taijutsu instructor, Tifa Lockhart," Jiraiya said. "Since I'm teaching Naruto some things, I brought them along." Tsunade raised an eyebrow. "Jiraiya, are you certain about that? Every one of your pupils has a propensity to pass away at a young age." Naruto said, "I assure, miss, I plan on living for a long time. I have too much at stake to die this early in my life." Without saying anything, Tsunade turned to face her old teammate and asked, "What do you want from me?" "Sarutobi. Sensei sent us to bring you back so he could become the next Hokage, not because I asked him to. It's time for Taunton, Shizune, and you to return home." The slug senin responded harshly, "I refuse to take up the mantle of Hokage, it is a fool's errand." With concern, Shizune muttered, "Tsunade, Sama. Ma'am, we need someone to fill the position regardless of your opinion of it," the Jinchuriki retorted. Orochimaru is obviously out of the running. Jiraiya is far more adept as a spy, and he enjoys his freedom far too much. The other contenders are either too indolent or lack sufficient experience. The Toad Senin interrupted, saying, "Plus it is your blood, granddaughter of Shodem Hokage. I don't care about what you say, I am not becoming the Godem at all, and I want nothing to do with Konoha." The woman angrily yelled. "You are aware that your house is the one that gives you complete freedom to move around Fire Country without becoming a missing ninja. Lady Tsunade, you know Jiraiya will become serious if he has to do anything to get you back home, and Hokage Sama will not think twice about doing so." Tsunade snarled angrily, "Boy, are you threatening me?" "No, I am stating the obvious. You have no idea what pain the position has caused me. Your fiancé and brother have passed away. You cannot change that. They both lost their lives defending their beliefs. Instead of wallowing in your own misery with alcohol and gambling, at least try to accomplish what they were unable to do." Naruto uttered those words. "How dare you?" Tsunade slammed her hand down on the table. "Are you certain that you belong to the Sannin legend? Many people have lost a loved one to combat or a mission. What distinguishes you from them? Hokage Sama's position is the only reason you are out here at all. It's time for you to stop running and accept that you cannot change the past or run away from your calling, no matter how hard you try." Outside, Tsunade roared angrily. Now, as he followed Tsunade across the street to confront her, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki sighed and said, "Brat, you're going to pay for what you said. I will use just one finger to defeat you," she shouted. Naruto wordlessly tightened his gloves and moved into a stance. This should be fun. With her finger outstretched as though she would flick him, the senin leapt forward, and Naruto ducked to the left, only to block a devastating kick to his ribs. She is strong, he thought, but I will show her that I am strong too. He pushed her leg away and struck her chest with his palm, but she caught it and flicked him in the forehead with her finger. Naruto then used his foot to send her arm upward and his other foot to knock her off balance. When Tsunade shifted her foot back, Naruto was able to swiftly strike her diaphragm with a hard palm strike, causing her to gasp for air. He then slammed his knee into her abdomen before leaping and launching her into the air with a roundhouse kick to the face. "Do you have anything else? You bastard, hardly, Satenkyaku," she yelled, leaping into the air and slamming her leg down at the Mako. Enriched boy. The Jinchuriki deflected the blow, turning the area where his feet were planted into a crater. Damn, that hurt. No doubt that she has still got it. Naruto flinched as he felt his bones break, mostly around his forearms. He pushed her away from him and jumped back, letting his arm hang. He looked at Tsunade, who was shocked, and said, "No one has ever taken on my Satenkyaku head on. Until now, you still want to continue this. I can last all day if you need me to." Tsunade eased out of her combat position, asking, "Why? Why do you care so much about me coming back? You don't even know me, kid." "I don't know you, but I understand pain. However, I think it's foolish to constantly sit there and lament it rather than getting up and doing something constructive about it. There are talkers and doers in this world. The talkers just talk, but the doers are the ones who bring about change. Therefore, Tsunade, will you talk and complain about your loss, or will you take action to ensure that no one experiences what you have?" Before turning to face Naruto, Tsunade pondered quietly, "Jiraiya, what are you teaching him?" With a start, Jiraiya said, "I intended to teach him the Rasengan." The Slug Princess gave him a disbelieving look and said, "Are you dumb? You have absolutely no business teaching him that jutsu." "Because I believe that he can master it hands down. Then I will make a bet with him. If you, Naruto, can master that jutsu in a week, then I will return to Konoha without a fuss, but if you fail, you will hand over your money and cease to be a shinobi," she said with a loud voice. "I'll even throw in this necklace too." Tsunade. "Sama, that necklace," yelled Shizune. "Stop talking, Shizune." Her master gave a stern response. "Why am I concerned about a trinket?" With a raised eyebrow, Naruto asked the medic. "This item, which you refer to as the first Hokage's necklace, is sufficient to purchase 3 mountains. What do you think? Do you agree to the terms?" "All right, I'll play with you then, Miss Senju. I'll agree to your terms. Now, if you don't mind, I'm heading to our hotel." The Jinchuriki started to leave, but he stopped and turned around, blushing slightly. "Which is, where again?" "We didn't get one." Jiraiya deadpanned. "Where are you staying, Tsunade?" As Shizune and Taunton walked towards the hotel, the Slug Sennin said, "Come on, I will show you." Shizune looked at Naruto's back and thought, "I can't believe he accepted such a thing. The fool has no idea what that necklace's true intentions are. Only Tsunade Sama is capable of donning that necklace of death." Sitting beside Tsunade at the bar, Jiraiya drank sake and asked, "Why did you bring that kid here in the first place?" Tsunade abruptly asked her former teammate, "That kid is my godson, but I really can't call him kid anymore. He has gotten very powerful over the years in secret," the Toad Sennin said after pausing for a moment. "To be honest, he would have reprimanded you if you had allowed him to use his sword." "Yeah, right," Tsunade sneered. "Are you familiar with the Heartless Angel? The one who killed Zabuza Momochi? Don't tell me that he..." "Yes, that was all of him. He has very remarkable kenjutsu, and if he killed Zabuza in his element, it indicates that he is extremely skilled, possibly a master. Additionally, he is the best thing you have left." Tsunade gave the super pervert a fierce look and said, "Jiraiya, I don't need you to remind me what I've lost." "No, I guess not, but Tsunade, he's right. You must return to the village and stop escaping your past. He is absolutely correct, in my opinion. You have had ample time to mourn, and now is the moment to fulfill your responsibilities as a Konoha Kunoichi and a member of the legendary Sannin. So this deal with Orochimaru, does it involve bringing Dan and Nawaki back to life?" Jiraiya asked after the legendary sucker remained silent and nursed her saucer. "Don't act all surprised that I figured it out. Besides, that is the one thing that you would love most to be brought back to you," the man said as Tsunade turned to face him in disbelief. The woman responded solemnly, "I know," while Tsunade remained silent. The Toad Sennin sighed before saying, "Tsunade, if you accept Orochimaru's offer to heal his arms, then I will not hesitate to kill you. In the meantime," Shizune knocked on the door, and Naruto opened it to reveal Tsunade's apprentice. "May I help you, Shizune-san?" "Refrain from taking the necklace? Pardon me? You will die if you take the necklace, I warned you." With a small laugh, Naruto said, "All right, Shizune-san. The wager was that I had to learn the Rasengan in a week and become an expert in it. The consolidation prize is getting Tsunade and, indirectly, you back in the village along with that necklace. I feel like there's a backstory to all of this, don't you think?" Shizune gave a silent nod. and the swordsman led her into the room before sitting in the chair and staring at her while resting his chin on his knees and elbows on them. "Well, then, go ahead," he said. When Tsunade was a teenager a few years ago, her brother Nawaki had just turned 12 and had declared his desire to become Hokage. In the hopes that it would give him the strength to achieve his dream, Tsunade chose to assist him by giving him the necklace. However, on his birthday, he and his team were sent out to attack an outpost during the war, and he fell into an explosive trap. His body was completely unrecognizable, and the necklace was the only thing that allowed us to identify him. Shizune said solemnly, so she took it back to wear it again, only to give it away to a second person, Dan Kato, my uncle, and her lover. They met during a council meeting where Tsunade proposed that each squad should have a medical ninja on the team, and Dan strongly advocated with that, considering that he lost his younger sister, she said, pausing to wipe away her tears. They then started dating, and a few months later, my uncle Dan opened up about how he felt about the Hokage role. In order to encourage my uncle to pursue his dream, Tsunade gave him the necklace once more. However, after he was fatally wounded on the battlefield, despite Tsunade Sama's best efforts to save him, he passed away, leaving Tsunade severely traumatized. "So, you want me to avoid taking the necklace because it cursed the one who wears other than Tsunade?" Naruto said, pausing for a moment. "That is correct. I know it sounds stupid, but you have to trust me, Naruto." As Naruto stood up, he said, "I believe you and I appreciate your concern for me. However, I am not going to back down, and I will be removing that necklace from Tsunade's neck. Although you didn't deter me, this issue has piqued my interest. It appears that I will have to disprove you, as I could have perished numerous times in my village." After grinning, he said, "Looks like I have a chance to be unpredictable again and prove that the impossible is possible." The swordsman then ventured out into the night to diligently train in order to master the Rasengan and secure the necklace of death from the neck of the slug Sennin.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.